distant lands we gather, hearts of fire all along. Oh, big Nick, cause we follow through the storm and through the fight. For Valhalla we will borrow strength and might under moonlight. Warriors of the ancient sea, songs of glory dark and bold. In the night, our spirits free, legends born, tales unfold. Oh, big because we follow through the storm and through the fight. For Valhalla we will borrow strength and might under moonlight. From horizons wild we roam, with thunder in our soul. Every battle brings us home to the stories ages told. Oh, big Nick, cause we follow through the storm and through the fight. For Valhalla we will borrow strength and might under moonlight.
Yo, folks. Welcome. Day 2 of the Donna Adelson trial. And day 2 is basically the prosecution going, hey, that your mother, she's a bitch, right? And then the defense going, hello, you're the real bitch, aren't you? Thank you, and goodbye. No. Oh, now, I haven't heard it all. I tuned in and out because I had work to do. I had my sleep schedule to do and everything. But I do know there will be snark. The snark attack is real. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Wim. Hi, Purple. Hi, Lady Trucker. Hi, Jen. And everybody else who is here currently. All right. I mean, there's not much to say about this. Most of the day is Wendy Adelson being on the stand. And yeah, I say I'll go right into it. With first some
Matters are being argued by either party. The attorney who is examining the witnesses to argue the point. Again, we're not going to have tag team motions from the state or the defense or any objection arguing as well. Everyone's clear on those.
playing in 1.25 speed.
Wendy Adelson, but I am the one who's prepared for
The proffer.
Yes.
When it's time to handle that part of it. They can come in. They can come in. Deputy. When you come in, please take a seat. Be quiet.
Yeah.
As far as the proffer is concerned, that will be at the presence of the jury. So with that, that's really not an issue. Who does what?
Yes, sir. And we resolved all but one. There was a state provided us with materials. There was one that was objectionable. Ms. Kaplan agreed to withdraw that from the exhibit. But there's only one remaining pleading that is still subject to the foundation.
Please find your seats this morning.
And they couldn't really find their seats.
While we're either having the hearings out of the presence of.
Yeah. This. I rarely see this. I've rarely seen this in any of the trials I've been covering. The judge walks up to the spectators and, hey folks, here are the ground rules.
The jury, or once the jury is in the room, Again, we're not being cell phones out. You need to silence your cell phones or go ahead and turn them off entirely. Also as well, for the witnesses, no cell phones, either pointing at the witnesses or the members of the jury. If you need to step out while the witness is testifying today, please wait outside until that witness has finished with their testimony. Do we have any questions at all concerning the conduct of the gallery while the trial is going on? I think this is pretty simple, that's all evident, but there are no bad questions. If you have questions, please let us know. All right. If there being no questions also as well, if you need to speak with each other, please step outside into the hallway, so that way there's no disruption or disturbances for the jury. Also, while the testimony is going on, do not be head nodding or gesturing or any motion that would indicate you're either agreeing with or disagreeing with what the witnesses are saying. If you have an issue with controlling your ability to do this, please step outside as well. We have all of our parties present this morning, including the defendant who is present as counsel. Ms. Adelson, do you have your device to assist your hearing? All right, it's working properly. Ms. Keppelman, the issue that we need to work through concerning the foundation, do you have the witness available to do this proffer?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, you have a copy, that is actually the copy of State's Exhibit 60 on the bench. I provided a copy to the defense as well. This contains all of the divorce documents that the defense objected to last week with Detective Isom. It includes one additional pleading, the grandma motion, as it's been referenced previously. That's tab JJ in your book there. So each tab represents a divorce filing, and behind the divorce filing in each tab is the supporting documentation for that document to show that Donna Adelson was aware of that particular pleading. So the state is going to be seeking to introduce this exhibit. My understanding is the only issue in contention at this time is the JJ tab. So we will call Investigator Newland at this time to address that issue.
Investigator Newland, if you can come up and take a stand. Please raise your right hand and be sworn to the proffer. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth? I swear. You may take your seat. You may inquire, Ms. Keppelman, when you are ready.
Thank you, Judge. I just need about 30 seconds.
Deputies, if we've run out of seating room, is there an overflow area?
Yeah, this is outside of the jury's presence.
W-L-I-N.
Please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Jason Newland, Jason-Newlin.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm an investigator with the State Attorney's Office here in Tallahassee.
Were you asked to assist in assembling the notebook that's known as State's Exhibit 60?
Yes,
And does State's Exhibit 60 contain each of the divorce filings that we were able to directly link to Donna Adelson, meaning show that through some other means that she had knowledge of those pleadings?
yes,
And is the book organized such that each tab has the pleading, and then right behind that tab will be the supporting documentation associated with that tab?
that's correct.
All right, I want to draw your attention to tab JJ, which specifically contains page 441 through 456 of Dan Markell and Wendy Adelson's divorce pleadings. This is a pleading entitled what?
Former husband's counter motion for enforcement.
Yeah, this is the outside of the jury's presence. He's going to be there to proffer this in order to maybe eventually get this into evidence, depending on how Wendy testifies and how others testify. Nothing unusual, just a part of the day-to-day court thingies or trial thingies. Nothing new.
Of MSA on parenting issues and motion for contempt and sanctions.
And is this the motion that we have referred to throughout preparation for this trial as the grandma motion?
Yes,
Is that because this is a motion in which Dan Markell is seeking to limit or restrict Donna Adelson's contact with his children?
yes, it is.
Okay, so the language grandma says that the kids are reporting to him, grandma says, you're stupid, that sort of thing, that's what's in this motion.
That's correct.
Okay. And on what date was this motion filed by Dan Markell?
March 26, 2014.
Okay. And is there an email predating that filing in which Dan Markell sends Wendy Adelson the content of what ends up in this motion, the allegations that end up in this motion, and outlines them for her?
Yes.
And was that email forwarded to Donna Adelson?
Yes, it was.
On what date was that email forwarded to Donna Adelson?
December 17th, 2013.
And is that email contained in State's Exhibit 60JJ.2?
Yes, it is.
Right. And was there a response to Wendy forwarding this stuff to Donna?
Yes, there was.
And what was the response?
Wow.
All right. And is there another email the next day in which Wendy forwards
Hi,
the
Dave.
parenting coordinator's response to Dan's allegations of grandparental alienation?
Yes, there was.
All right. And is that what the email that's marked as JJ.3?
Yes.
And this is the one that for some reason when we print it out comes out in a big weird formatting block?
Yes.
Okay. But this email was sent from Wendy to her mother?
Dear Mom and Dad. Yes.
Okay. And on what date?
December 18th, 2013.
Okay. And that's addressed Dear Mom and Dad.
That's correct.
And that contains the same allegations that are later contained in State's Exhibit JJ.
Yes.
Okay. And when the motion was actually filed on
To offer concerning the issue of the property.
Your Honor, not all about is that tab.
Sullivan, you may make your final argument concerning.
Okay, I was apparently muted. Boomer! What I said was, this is the same type of outside of the jury's presence. It's challenged by the defense. And then it basically became as much other things. You have to lay the foundation. You have to show in excess. So let's listen to the judge.
JJ of State 60.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, it's defense position that the state's argument is entirely speculative. In Investigator Newland's testimony, he indicated that the pattern indicated that when Donna was responding to these emails with pleadings, she would sign it with her name, or she would indicate Dad and I. This response, JJ2, just says, wow, exclamation point. As a result, Your Honor, it's our position that the state cannot establish a foundation for admission of JJ1, which is the March 26, 2014 counter motion that the state has nicknamed the grandmother motion.
Sullivan, you may briefly respond.
Judge, the email was sent to a joint email that we can prove was routinely checked and responded to by Donna Adelson. She routinely checked and responded to emails specifically in reference to this divorce, and the pattern and totality of the testimony will show that she was the one that was primarily engaged in receiving pleadings, giving feedback on pleadings, even drafting and editing pleadings on Wendy's behalf. So I think the fact that the email was shared, and if the defense wants to point that out and argue that maybe it was Harvey that responded to this particular email, then they're free to do that. I think that goes to weight, not admissibility. I think it's important that the second time the email was shared, it was directed to Mom and Dad, and it was specifically directed to Donna and Harvey, so not just Harvey.
Hi, Donna. Hi, Donna.
The foundation for
It's
this
good to have you here.
will need to be established. It sounds through multiple witnesses, both Investigator Newland and also for the testimony of Wendy Adelson. However, once the pattern has been demonstrated, I will find based on this can be admitted if the pattern in fact does show that both either Donna Adelson or Harvey Adelson would both respond from this email concerning matters of the divorce, and the communications do in fact match other communications that were made specifically by the defendant. Concerning the limiting instruction that was discussed on Friday, if the defense is still seeking this, the court would provide the instruction. This evidence may be considered for demonstrating state of mind, motive, or intent, unless you're seeking some other form of limiting instruction, specifically as the 60 JJ.
Just one Read that to us again, please.
This evidence may be considered for demonstrating the defendant's state of mind, motive, or intent as far as any arguments that Donna Adelson is in fact not the person who sent the wow response because it was shared. Certainly the defense is free to cross-examine on that point and present any evidence or argument in support of that position. But I'm going to find that these matters being argued go to weight, not admissibility, if the pattern can be demonstrated by both the investigator and Wendy Adelson and their knowledge of these communications or investigation.
That's, defense appreciates that and agrees with the language.
Very well. Ms. Keppelman, do you wish for State 60 to remain at the bench, or will you need it back for the moment?
I have a copy, Judge, so if you'd like to keep it for your use, that's fine, or I can retrieve it.
All right, I will just keep it up here then next to my trial notebook. Are there any other matters that we need to address before the jurors are brought in for this morning? I believe, as previously discussed before last week on Friday, as it relates to Wendy Adelson, if the defense is still seeking to take a proffer as to matters that would be both relevant and would not, at least in their review of the evidence, go to Mrs. Adelson's Fifth Amendment privilege, I will allow you to take a proffer out of the presence of the jury concerning that matter. Is Mr. Loro present so he understands what will take place?
I don't think he's present, Judge. I think I told him 10 o'clock.
All right. When it's time for her to take the stand, she will be testifying pursuant to the state subpoena and any immunity that would attach under the state subpoena. After that examination has concluded, the jurors will be taken out of the room so the proffer can take place. I believe Mr. Loro's position on this matter has been clear throughout as to anything but a state subpoena which confers immunity. He or his client intends to invoke her privilege against self-incrimination. As to that, he will be informed of the defense being able to take a proffer, since the proffer was not possible at the time the motion was argued. Again, depending on what the questions are and whether she will still intend to invoke the privilege at that time, the court will make a ruling. I did, though, want to make sure both parties are aware as it relates to the cases on the invocation of the privilege under federal law and both state law. The defense is going to have a high hurdle to clear with this. I believe cases go to the lines of the privilege not only protects the answers that would in themselves support a conviction under a federal or state criminal statute, but likewise embraces those which would furnish a link in the chain of evidence. And to that point, I believe that is where Mr. Loro's argument lies. But Mr. Zellman, again, you'll have your opportunity to make your proffer to determine whether in fact there is something that is relevant and does not go to a proper invocation of the privilege. All right. While we're awaiting the jurors, I believe we told them to report at 9:15. If there are any needs that the parties need to attend to, please do so now. If anyone needs to use the restroom, please do so now. Once the jurors arrive, we will bring them in and we'll get started with our first witness for the day. Does either party need to be heard about this any further?
No, Your Honor, you'd like to start at 9:15?
9:15, I believe that's when the jurors were told to report.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Still not going out and doing testimony.
All right, let's skip ahead.
Not to seek out any information about this case, and also you all. Investigator, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this trial will be the truth?
I swear.
You may take your seat. You may inquire when you're ready.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Jason Newland, Jasonnewlin.
How are you employed?
I'm an investigator with the State Attorney's Office here in Tallahassee.
What are your duties at the State Attorney's Office?
Primarily assist the prosecutors with preparation for trial.
Okay, so that can include quite a long laundry list of tasks.
It can.
In this case, have you had an opportunity to review State's demonstrative A?
Yes.
What does State's demonstrative A contain?
It's going to be the entire divorce filing of Dan Markell and Wendy Adelson.
Okay, and what were you asked to do in reference to State's demonstrative A?
Review it, find items of value for this case, but also review documentation that can corroborate this information was shared.
All right, so were you asked to look for the foundation to support the fact that each of the filings in that document were known to or seen by Donna Adelson?
Yes, I was.
And what type of evidence did you find in regards to the divorce filings to indicate the defendant has seen these things?
Emails, emails primarily. There was a couple daily planner, documented daily planner agendas that we were able to use as well.
And when you say emails, where were those emails collected from?
A 2014 search warrant on multiple emails, but primarily Wendy Adelson's emails, and then a 2024 search warrant on Donna Harvey at Gmail.
Okay. And based on the research that you conducted for these divorce filings, did you find foundation to support the fact that she had seen or was aware of quite a few of those documents?
Yes, I did.
And based on that, did you create a new exhibit, State's Exhibit 60?
Yes.
And how is State's Exhibit 60 organized?
So each filing that we could validate would have been provided to Ms. Adelson is going to have a letter associated with it. And for example, A1, A2 would be a document validating the information passed along, whether that be an email or a planner.
All right, so each filing in State 60 now has a letter, and then behind it, the jury can find the foundation to support that filing.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to take demo A away from me, use the space. You have a copy of State 60 in front of you?
I do.
Let's go to first page. And Judge, may I make use of a PowerPoint?
You may.
Did you assist with creating a PowerPoint to assist the jurors in understanding your testimony here today?
I did.
How is the PowerPoint set up?
So on the left is going to be the divorce filing pages and excerpts from specific pages. And on the right will be the documentation saying the information was passed along to the defendant.
Okay, so if we click, will we see this divorce filing? What was the first divorce filing?
The first divorce filing was a petition for dissolution of marriage.
Who filed that?
Wendy Adelson.
When was that filed?
It was filed September 10th, 2012.
All right, any evidence that Mrs. Donna Adelson was aware of this filing?
Yes, there was a preceding email and an email following. So an email sent on September 9th, 2012, indicating Ms. Adelson would be filing for a divorce, and an email on September 19th indicating Ms. Adelson had filed for divorce.
Excuse me, Judge, can I ask the witness to speak?
That's the microphone investigator.
All right, so she knew her daughter was getting divorced.
She did.
All right, let's go, if you would please, to tab B of Exhibit 60. What is the filing in tab B?
Joint stipulation for substitution of counsel.
Okay, and what is a substitution of counsel?
It's generally when an attorney that's assigned to a case is getting off of the case, the new attorney will be assigned.
All right, and Wendy was switching lawyers?
Yes,
Who was she switching from and who was she switching to?
she was switching from Shannon Novy, switching to Kristen Adamson.
And was Donna aware that Novi had represented Wendy prior to this substitution?
Yes, she was.
All right, and for that, I would direct you to 60B.2. Did she send an email 7 days before this lawyer change?
Yes,
All right,
Well-
that's the defendant sent an email indicating that Wendy's lawyer was Shannon Novi. Is that right?
correct. Currently, her attorney is Shannon Novy of the Novy Law Firm.
Okay, and then was there a second email directing you to 60.B3 sent on July 10th of 2013?
Yes,
Okay, that's after the changeover of lawyers, right?
that is correct.
And what does she say in that email?
This is going to be the July 10th B3. Gary Cohen told Wendy tonight that he thinks the offer should be made her attorney Kristen at mediation on the 18th of this month.
Okay, and what about in the paragraph above that? Does she talk about why Wendy left the Novi law firm?
She does.
Okay, so acknowledging that the new lawyer is Kristen.
Yes,
Do you know who Kristen is?
Kristen Adamson.
Okay. And 60B.4, did she actually draft an email? And by she, I mean the defendant, draft an email including a portion in Wendy's voice for her to send to Kristen Adamson?
Yes,
And that email is dated what?
October 18th, 2012.
And what is the email entitled?
Review of post relocation info for your attorney.
Uh-oh.
One more click.
Did Donna
Right, and that
instruct the new
pleading, she
attorney what
says,
to do?
I have been upset about this move since it happened in 2005, referring to having to live in Tallahassee, right?
Yes,
Okay, and that's the I in that sentence is Wendy, right?
correct.
Okay, next. There are, however, 16 Christian, Catholic, and Baptist schools in Tallahassee with over 3,600 students attending them. If I remain in Tallahassee, the children will not be attending a Hebrew day school, nor be brought up kosher or religious in any way. That's not a threat, just a reality. Is that contained in that email?
It is.
All right, next.
Yeah. Don't write in emails or texts or stuff anything you don't want to have read up loud in court. Remember, folks, Dan Markell just wanted to be a good dad, giving the boys a kosher upbringing. And here you have Donna, from a prominent Jewish family who hates Dan so much that she says, hey, do what I say, or we will take the kids and bring them up as Catholics. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a Catholic, but in this context, yeah.
Slide. All right, so the boys stay with me, the mom, during the week and spend every other weekend, Friday evening through school, Monday morning with their dad. Okay, so this is arguments for relocation that are being outlined by Donna for Wendy to send to her lawyer, correct?
Yes, that's
Next
correct.
slide, please. All right, so let's move on to tab C. What is the pleading addressed in tab C?
Wife's answer to husband's counter petition for dissolution of marriage.
Okay, and so now on what date?
It was filed on December 5th, 2012.
Okay, so we have Wendy filing another response, yes?
Yes.
And what is she asking for? Next slide, please. She's asking for, I'm sorry, bad question. Strike that. Was there any proof that the defendant saw this filing?
Yes.
The wife's answer. Okay.
Yes.
So we've got an email in here dated July 19th of 2013. It's marked as state 60.C2. What is that email?
The subject is please forward 5 items, and there are 5 attachments to this email. It was on July 17th. Donna Adelson replied to an email, and then Wendy replied back.
All right. So sometimes Wendy would just file a group of actual divorce filings and forward them to her mother.
Correct.
Okay. And in this case, she addresses the email, hi guys. Does that indicate she's sending it to both Harvey and Donna?
Yes.
Next. So that's where Donna is asking for the items and then Wendy responds and sends them, correct?
Correct.
Next slide. All right, let's go to tab D. What is tab D?
Amended petition for dissolution of marriage and request to be allowed to relocate with the minor children.
All right, what does this indicate, this petition? Does it indicate where she plans to go?
It does. This is Wendy Adelson attempting to move the children to another part of the state.
To Coral Springs, right?
That is correct.
To live with her parents.
Correct.
Okay. And States Exhibit 60D.2, can you tell us about that email?
This motion was forwarded to Donna Adelson with the terms, here it is, let's edit.
All right, so who sent it to Donna Adelson?
Wendy Adelson,
On what date did she
Mr.
send
Dillon?
this to her mom?
December 10th, 2012.
Okay, so that's 3 months before the document ends up getting filed, right?
A month.
Okay. So before she files her motion for relocation, she being Wendy, Wendy sends it to the defendant for edits.
Yes.
And does the defendant reply with some edits?
Yes.
All right, and that's this email that starts honey on page 3, number 13, sorry, says that you and Danny have assets that are deemed non-marital assets, which are either titled in both or in each individual name, which will be kept separate. What non-marital assets are these? Does this refer to your 401k, his 401ks? If so, his 401ks.
Just for the record, Wendy is an attorney. Donna isn't. So why is Donna doing legal advice? And I would assume they're horrible.
One for $75,000 and one for $25,000, if not set aside in a prenup, are deemed marital assets. So this is, am I correct? This is Donna responding to each, she kind of goes paragraph by paragraph and offers edits and questions for Wendy.
That's correct.
All right, and how do we know this is Donna and not Harvey?
Signed, love you, Mom.
All right, and then are Donna's questions and feedback forwarded by Wendy to Wendy's attorney?
Yes, they are.
And does Wendy cut and paste Mom's questions and then send them to the attorney as her own questions?
She does.
Okay. And then does she, upon getting a response from the lawyer, does Wendy send the lawyer's answer on to her mother?
She does.
Let's go to tab E, please. What is tab E?
Motion for leave to amend petition for dissolution of marriage to add a complaint for relocation.
We're going through everything we just talked about. Hold on. All right, so E, motion to amend petition for dissolution of marriage to add a complaint for relocation. All right, so this is Wendy seeking to add the relocation issue to her initial petition.
Correct.
Okay, and was there any discussion from the defendant regarding the arguments for relocation in the context of the divorce?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And is that 60.E2?
It is.
What's the date on that email?
It's going to be 5 days prior to the filing, so January 9th.
Okay. And that is for your meeting tomorrow with Kristen.
Correct.
And Kristen Adelson, Wendy's lawyer.
Yes.
Okay, and how is this one signed? Well, let me back up for just a moment. Some of the contents include, obviously, at some point, whenever Kristen thinks it's a good idea, since this is a major bargaining chip for you. What was the major bargaining chip?
Her employment. I
That
believe.
she had better employment opportunities in
Correct.
South Florida.
Yes.
All right, he needs to know that there is no way in hell you're going to stay at FSU and that he's the reason you're leaving. Is that what she said?
Yes.
And that's Donna's the author of that.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go to tab G, please. What is tab G?
The husband's answer to wife's amended petition for dissolution of marriage and request to be allowed to relocate with the minor children, and husband's objection to wife's request to relocate with minor children with prayer for relief.
So he didn't want her to move to South Florida with his kids.
He did not.
And what did he say was the sole reason that she really wanted to move to South Florida with the kids?
So she can be closer to her parents.
Right. And did he say that she was misusing access to the children as pawns?
Yes.
Meaning Wendy was doing that.
Correct.
Okay. And did he make some other allegations against Wendy in this particular filing? For example, the wife alleges that the husband wants to move from FSU, but that is false. So he's saying that Wendy is misstating his intentions in the pleadings. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Does he also say something about, here's the pawns, we can skip that.
Right.
The wife has on various occasions failed to allow the children to Skype with the husband. So as part of his allegation here, that the communication is lacking.
Yes.
And specifically that Wendy is failing to comport with the agreement that they've made about Skyping with the children.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that will be a bit it will be contended by Wendy, because according to her, oh, she allowed them to do this all the time. Although court filings says otherwise.
Unfortunately, the broken promises, communication withdrawal, and deceitful behavior indicate that the wife really cannot be trusted to consider the children's best interest. Did Dan Markell put this in his filing?
He did.
Because there are numerous false statements in the petition to relocate, and because the wife's behavior reveals deception, lack of integrity, and other instances of bad faith, this court should look at the wife as having unclean hands. Did he put that?
He did.
And this was sent to Donna Adelson?
Correct.
Ooh.
The
Hey,
wife who
DSM.
unilaterally helped herself to $400,000 of assets she barely contributed to. And then it goes on, this court should award decision-making authority over education, medical, and religious matters solely to the husband. He didn't even want to consult Wendy on those matters.
He did not.
And he was asking the court to grant him sole decision-making over those 3 areas of his kids' lives, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so do we have the defendant's response here? And I'm referencing 60G.2.
Yes, we have an email from Donna Adelson to Wendy Adelson.
And she replies the same day indicating she read everything that Markell wrote, right?
She did.
And how do we know it's her and not Harvey reading these documents? Or this
Signed, I love
particular
you.
one?
It's signed, I love you, Mom.
And does she send any emails at this point indicating that she's working on Wendy's response to this filing that Markell, that we just went through in detail?
Yes, she did.
Tell us about that.
On February 27th of 2013, she sent an email to a friend, Ronnie. Literally says, I'm sitting here at the kitchen table in Wendy's house working on her response to Danny's response to her relocation petition.
All right, let's skip to tab M, please. What is tab M?
Husband's memorandum of law in support of his answer to wife's amended petition for dissolution of marriage, and objection to request to be allowed to relocate with the minor children, and husband's motion to dismiss wife's petition to relocate.
Thank you to DSN for your super sticker. That is so nice of you. It is a lemon kissing a pear. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member for 4 months. Now, all of this, there are divorces, then there are bad divorces, then there are horrible divorces. Then you have this, a divorce between 2 lawyers. And now I know what what will be later on, which will be absolutely horrendous, because you would think this is a he said, she said situation. They are both really in for it. In my opinion, not really. This divorce could have been handled in a couple of filings, if not for Donna and Wendy not being able to handle the fact that they don't always get what they want. And they couldn't handle that. Neither of them.
All right, so we have a second filing, the gist of which is an objection of Dan Markell to these kids being relocated.
Correct. That's correct.
All right, let's go to M2. Was this filing that Dan Markell did forwarded from Wendy to her mother?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And it was forwarded on what date?
May 2nd, 2013.
The same day it was filed by Dan Markell, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and the next day, does the defendant offer a response to the email?
She does.
And what is that response entitled?
Info regarding his memorandum of law email.
And how does she refer to his memorandum of law? It was 23 pages
His 23-page
long, right?
rant. Yeah, obviously, his 23-page rant was insufficient. So he's trying to push the court to deny hearing your petition.
Okay, what does she say about the efforts that Mr. Markell is putting into this divorce?
Jibbers has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get what he's always gotten, his way.
And what does she say is the most important part of Wendy's divorce?
The most important part of your divorce is relocation. I sincerely hope your attorney understands that this is your non-negotiable. Lots of things are negotiable. That's one thing that you cannot let her think, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She needs to hear from you how serious you are about this and how it will benefit the children and close-knit family support system, as well as your significantly better paying job with hours much more flexible than your current job.
Okay, and does she say anything to disparage Dan Markell in this email?
Danny thinks he's a very important person. And as always, he and his needs come first.
Does she call him a narcissist?
You, Wendy, married the guy you have always had work. You relocated because he got he became a professor, and you still got a great job. Now you will hear about her job, who she thinks is very, very insecure. And when I heard that, knowing the life of an attorney, for fuck's sake, Wendy, you're spoiled shit. You're a spoiled child.
Exist.
She does.
Okay, I might have gotten ahead of you, but if you'll read what's up there, please.
Hi, Derek.
Only
Good
an
to have
idiot
you
like
here.
him would write that. He should be the only one consulted for making decisions regarding the health, education, and religion of his children.
Okay, keep going.
Mr. Markel has become a religious zealot over the last few years since the birth of our first son. Skip forward. This is also to show the congregation what an attentive father he is.
An attentive is in quotes, right?
Yes, it is.
She doesn't think he's an attentive father, does she?
No.
Okay, what does she say about the schooling opportunities for the boys in South Florida?
He's indoctrinating them, not teaching them. If he truly cared about religious school for them, then clearly one of the 37 Hebrew day schools in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County would be a better choice for our boys.
All right, next, please. Okay. Does she say the word bribe? Donna Adelson.
Yes.
Okay, what does she say about a bribe in this email?
Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets, since he does have family that would allow him to use their homes to stay in.
Okay, next, please. What does she say about the legal fees?
And isn't he also supposed to pay some of your regular legal fees? This bastard has not paid 1 cent toward your bridge gap alimony.
Loving, caring
Loving.
father that he is.
Yes.
She doesn't think he's loving.
No.
Your Honor. Counsel's testifying.
I'll withdraw.
Please.
Tab O, please.
Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Polly.
Next slide.
For you who just joined, we are playing in 1.5 speed. We are trying to compress all of today into a 3-hour stream. Let's hope I can do that, because once we get through this, Wendy will show up. And I'm not sure how I will manage to keep this stream monetized. Let's just say that.
Okay, so here we've done something with the exhibit to avoid duplication. Can you explain that to the jury, please?
Okay, so several of the emails that were preceding this, they all correspond back to this. The filings, everything was kind of an ongoing process. So there were multiple emails that covered multiple filings throughout the court document. So some of these files will say refer back to the emails in C or refer back to the emails in B. And this is one of those that says refer back to the emails in C. And this was a motion, father's motion for enforcement of parental agreement and for electronic access to minor children pursuant to Florida statute.
All right, so if they get to a filing in their exhibit 60 and they can't find the supporting documentation, they should look on the first page and there might be a note referring them to one of the other tabs.
Correct.
Okay. And in this case, they're going to refer back. If they want to see the supporting documentation for O, they'll have to go to C.2. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And how does C.2 provide a foundation for O?
It is one of the petitions, it is one of the attachments that was forwarded in that email.
All right. And that's the C2. It's not up there right now, but that we've seen where there was a batch of documents forwarded from Wendy Adelson to Donna Adelson.
Correct.
Okay. Tab P, please. Okay, so this one is what?
Notice of taking a deposition of Donna Sue Adelson.
All right, so the defendant's deposition was being sought in Wendy's divorce.
Correct.
And was Donna aware of that?
Yes.
How do we know that?
Emails.
Okay.
And the communication was back and forth between the two.
All right, did she author an email specifically talking about the service of the notice for the deposition? I'm referring to 60P.2.
Yes. It was an email on May 21st.
All right, and what does she say about the service, the notice of service for the depot?
It says, wow, he is such a royal jackass. How smart are you to get rid of this piece of S? R, as in like pirate.
Okay. And does she indicate she's still working on some of the questions for Wendy's divorce?
Yes, I've been working on some statements, etc., for the relocation, so I'll send them soon. Love, Mom. I love you, Mom.
Okay. Tab T, please. What is this?
This is the wife's memorandum of facts and law in support of her petition to relocate to Coral Springs, Florida with the minor children.
Okay, and how do we know that the defendant was aware of this particular filing?
This one we would refer back to Q2.
Okay,
And in Q2, one is indicating thanks so much, Mom. But in Q2, there's going to be an email on June 11th, 2013. Hi, honey. So here's the info I had for travel since Ben was born. And there's a list from 2009 travels, 2010 travels, 2011 travels, 2012 travels that Donna Adelson would have sent to Wendy Adelson, reference Dan Markell's travel.
so what's the purpose of documenting Dan Markell's travel?
Essentially say he was absent most of the time.
Investigator offering his opinion.
Overruled, the investigator may answer these questions based on his review of these documents and investigation in this matter. You may continue.
Specifically outlined in detail by Donna Adelson and present in Wendy's filings that Dan traveled too much to be a present father.
Correct.
And in support of that, does Donna here send Wendy a detailed accounting for every trip that Dan Markell has taken since the birth of their first child?
It does.
And we don't know how it is that she came to possess this information, or do we?
She kept track of a lot of things.
Okay. Can we go to tab W, please? What is tab W?
Husband's reply to wife's memorandum of law in support of her petition to relocate to Coral Springs, Florida with the minor children.
And what does Dan say about the wife's pleadings?
Wife's pleadings are vague, filled with rank and obvious falsehoods, and the legal analysis is fundamentally inept.
Does he mention her parents as well related to this line of argument?
For the preceding reasons, the petition should be dismissed with prejudice and costs forwarded to the husband. Indeed, if the costs are not awarded, then wife and her affluent parents, who are bankrolling wife's litigation so that they can enjoy closer access to the grandchildren, will persist in vexatious and groundless litigation and thereby prevent the parents from reaching a space where they can cooperate, collaborate, and communicate effectively and warmly in the project of raising their wonderful children.
Okay, I think we can breeze through W3 and 4, please. Go on to tab Y. Tab Y, what is this?
Order on wife's petition to relocate with the minor children.
What was the order?
It was denied.
When was it denied?
It was filed June 21 of 2013. It was actually denied on June 20th, though.
All right, so signed by the judge on June 20th, filed with the clerk the next day.
Correct.
Okay, and it denies relocation.
Yes.
With prejudice or without prejudice?
Don't see prejudice referenced in this motion
Okay.
for order.
Does the defendant acknowledge that this relocation order has come down?
She does in an email to a friend,
When is the email sent?
June 24th, 2013.
So just 3 days after the filing of the order?
Correct.
What does she say to the friend about losing relocation?
Unfortunately, after paying a lawyer $600 an hour for 10 months of case preparation, the judge listened to Wendy testify for 1 hour. Nothing. Well, I'll do this. The judge took a break and asked one question. I'm not hearing about any physical abuse by the father. Has he been pulling out their toenails? When Wendy said no, the judge said, well, I made up my mind. No physical abuse, no relocation. Outrageous. So at the moment, she will not be allowed to relocate.
At the moment.
At the moment.
All right. How does she conclude that email?
Anyway, if I sound angry, it's because I am. We're all very upset and cannot believe the outcome. Sorry, I didn't mean to respond this way, but I'm beyond angry.
Okay. Tab Z.
This is a order setting pretrial conference and non-jury trial.
All right, so the divorce is set for a final hearing, a trial.
Yes.
And when is the trial to take place?
Tuesday, July 9th, 2013 at 10 a.m.
I think that's the pretrial hearing.
Oh, that's a pretrial. Okay. The non-jury is scheduled for Wednesday, July 31st and Thursday, August 1st, 2013.
Okay, and does Donna send an email to her daughter Wendy regarding how we're going to take this news that relocation has been denied by the courts?
Yes, she does.
And does it say it's behind us, it's over, nothing else to fight about?
No, this says never, never, never give up. It's time for action.
Hold on just a moment. If you look at the bottom of that slide, you're going to get a trigger to play. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
It's time for action. It's time to take control of your life and not let Gibbers think he's just won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee, 8 hours away from the only family you have, and lose out on what will be a job that will afford you and your children advantages that they will never otherwise be able to enjoy. Let's show this F what will make him absolutely miserable. Fast forward, however, the rest of your life, and consequently, Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's, will be affected by how well you can perform or act before July 31st. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Dad and I have done everything we can to try to help you for the last 10 months. Now it's time to help yourself. Fast forward. If you can put these actions before everything else this next month, and you know that you've only got the kids a limited number of days to do this, we believe that Jibbers will be saying, stop this. And you'll be telling him, you wanted me in Tallahassee? My children are going to fit in this Bible Belt. They're going to church every time I have them. I'm having them privately tutored at home to get them caught up for Sunday school classes. Tell him that you've got a new outlook on life and a new hope, and you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he would like to join you and the boys at church. Plan of action. 1, take photos of the boys dressed nicely, standing at the front door or by the sign of a Tallahassee church. Then change your Facebook status photo to this one so everyone will see this. Perhaps a line under the photo with new beginnings in Tallahassee might be nice.
Seriously? Plan of action. How can you be this reprehensible? Now, Dave, I know Dave has handled divorce cases. Dave, is this common in the divorce between two Jewish persons, that one of them are so spiteful they do this?
And 2, make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, a teenage Catholic church member, who will come to the house to teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I'll happily do it for you. 3, let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church. Let him know that the Catholic Church is a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like him to be part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with you in church-related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out, and a baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks. 4, I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it. 5, register them for toddler classes at church. I've looked into this, and even if they don't go, we can show Jibbers that they are enrolled for the fall semester. And you cannot tell anyone this is an act. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want you to stop this. We plan to make a financial offer to him to allow this relocation. You need to work this plan, and we'll help you through it. We'll help you through it so that it may affect how much we will offer him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein in Boca, or perhaps he'd like them to invite him to a Christmas party at their other Sunday school, in quotes. And then she says, I know you would never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could to try to come down to your family. We don't want Danny to continue his religious influence over these children any more than what he's already done. If he keeps this up, they won't want to eat in your non-kosher home. As they get older and more involved under Jibbers' religious influence, they will be able to request which parent they want to live with. Don't allow Jibbers to have this power and control over them. Then in reality, he's going to have the same control over you. Dad and I is referred for the person. It's time for you to show us that you can put on the performance of your life for the next few weeks. We send this letter with our love and only the best intentions, Mom and Dad.
All right, and you mentioned this as we were going through there, but there's a reference to Dad and I in the text, right?
Correct.
Can we go to tab EE, please? What is this filing?
Motion to enforce marital settlement agreement and to show cause why the former husband should not be held in contempt of court.
And what does Wendy Adelson allege in this motion to enforce the marital settlement agreement?
Require the former husband to immediately transfer to the former wife the remaining amount due to her.
So she's saying he hasn't paid up.
Correct.
Okay. And is there an email prior to this filing indicating that Donna Adelson was aware of this upcoming deadline, or I guess the deadline had already passed at this time, but the deadline, the fact that he had not made payment, and the possibility of Wendy taking him back to court?
Yes, the email was from October 15th. The filing was October 31st.
Okay.
So Wendy used bad lawyers.
Can we go to GG, please? Okay, what was filed in GG?
Former husband's request to produce to former wife.
Okay. And did the defendant discuss this request to produce in an email?
She did.
Okay. And did she formulate in this email a plan of attack or suggest a plan of attack to deal with Danny's request to produce?
She did.
What does she say in there?
In the first paragraph, it's let's aggravate him the way he's trying to aggravate you and make him do the research and show statements from every month, from the date of your marriage to the date of the filing of the divorce. You need to see whatever he deposited into those accounts where the money came from. It's very possible some of it came from your joint Schwab account, and then he's up Schitt's Creek.
Does she specifically reference the deposition?
It just seems ridiculous for him to be able to depot you, but for you and Kristen to not give him the same crap he's pulling on you. It's time to give it to him.
Also,
What can your attorney do?
Again, Donna is not a lawyer. So it might not be that Wendy used bad lawyers. It might be Donna pissing Wendy's lawyers off.
To be proactive to give him some grief?
and can you meet with her and work out a plan of attack? Did she say that too?
She does.
And what else?
Well, sign love you, mom, but something has to be done with this asshole. Love you, mom and dad. Love mom and dad.
All right, and let's go to tab HH, please.
Now, if there weren't a murder in all of this, maybe this is just a very, very vile person, a vile family. But now there is a murder involved. Which the son, Charlie, who should have had nothing to do with this, paid for it. Now he's serving life in prison because he was a mama's boy who wanted to please mama.
What is this filing?
This is an amended notice of hearing,
And on what date was this filed?
February 11th, 2014.
Okay, so how close are we getting to the murder of Dan Markell at this point?
We're almost 5 months out.
And the amended notice of hearing, does Mr. Markell offer to settle the divorce?
He does.
Okay, and what is he saying about the settlement?
One of the suggestions is neither party will seek to relocate in the future with the children without the consent of the other party. If the offer above is not accepted by the deadline, fast forward, Mr. Markell will file his motions and memoranda and supporting documents that detail how Ms. Adelson failed to disclose substantial assets in violation of the Florida rules and the master settlement agreement. How Ms. Adelson fraudulently induced the settlement, how she made numerous instances of demonstrably false testimony before the court and under oath in deposition, how she ignored court orders, discovery requests, and made false responses to the latter.
And Wendy Adelson was a lawyer, member of the Florida Bar at the time, right?
She was.
May still be, I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
If this offer is not accepted by the deadline, Mr. Markell will file his motion and memoranda of law and supporting documents, and these will allege, and with other evidence, demonstrate that Ms. Adelson engaged in misconduct, including but not limited to filing a frivolous petition to relocate that had already been deemed impossible to win by another board-certified lawyer, standing by silently while her client divulged privileged attorney-client information, advising Ms. Adelson to interfere with Mr. Markell's parental rights,
I think there's one more. Yeah.
and becoming a willing instrumentality of or participant in Ms. Adelson's financial misconduct related to the disclosures and discovery process related therein.
So he's going after Wendy and he's going after her lawyer as well, right?
That's correct.
And does Wendy Adelson forward this email to the defendant?
She does.
All right, let's go to tab JJ, please.
I want to check this being shown. It hasn't done that in evidence. I know that most of this will be. However, I'm objecting to this being shown to the jury and specifically the testimony concerning this based on the profit that we have.
You may lay a foundation as to JJ and his cabinet, but until it is in fact entered, there is to be no publication from the jury.
What is the document in JJ?
The former husband's counter motion for enforcement of MSA on parenting issues and motion for contempt and sanctions.
And is this the motion that includes the allegations, grandma says you're stupid?
We have a foundation for giving the contents of the document. Ms. Kappelman, objection is sustained.
Are you familiar with the contents of the motion?
I am.
Okay, and are the contents of that motion present in an email that was dated before the filing of the motion on 12/17/13? I'm referring to JJ.2.
Yes, the email is a forwarded email. The original email is 12/16. It was forwarded on 12/17.
Okay, so who sent the email on 12/16?
Dan Markell sent the email to Wendy Adelson and their parenting coordinator,
Right, and then you say it was forwarded. Who
was
was forwarded to?
to donnahardy@gmail.com.
Okay, and that was on 12/17/13.
That's correct.
And did someone respond to the email?
They did.
And what did the person say?
Wow, with an exclamation point.
Okay, and the contents of JJ, that motion that was ultimately filed, were they also, you mentioned they were sent to the parenting coordinator. Did the parenting coordinator give a response to Dan Markell's allegations? I'm referring to JJ.3.
Yeah, this keeps going and going, so let's get up to the interesting parts.
Now, the June,
And there she is. There she is. Wendy Adelson.
Take your seat for right now. I'll swear you in the jury and everybody. I believe even though the jurors indicated they did not in the bathroom, so wait.
Now, first of all, that's not her eye color. She has brown eyes. Now, nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to change the color of your eyes, she's more than allowed to do so. If she wants to bleach her hair or make herself a blonde, teal-eyed woman, sure, go right ahead. Now let's watch her start talking and see if you see what I see.
That's fine. I believe that we have a few jurors that do need to use the restroom. If anyone needs to stretch their legs or use the bathroom themselves, please take your opportunity now. Once we start with the testimony again, the door will remain closed if you exit. Go ahead. Oh, before you leave the room, Ms. Fulford, once again, Mrs. Adelson, I'm going to reiterate the instruction that I gave to you last Friday concerning any reactions that you may have to either the testimony or the evidence in the case. I understand this may be a distressing thing for your child to be offering testimony in your trial. However, you are to control your expressions and your emotions. Do you understand this? Everyone can take their break. If you need to step down until it's time to testify, you may do so as well.
Okay. Let's then skip ahead. Let's see if you see what I see.
Swear or affirm the testimony you will give today in this trial will be the truth. You may be seated. Please adjust the microphone as you need to so you can be clearly heard. Ms. Kappelman, you may examine.
Please state your name and spell your name.
Wendy Adelson, Wendiadelson.
Ms. Adelson, where are you from?
I'm from Coral Springs, Florida.
And you live in another state now currently, right?
I do, yes, ma'am.
All right. How are you employed?
I'm an immigration attorney
How long have you been an attorney?
since 2006.
Now, did you notice that Wendy Adelson, by the way, she's 46 now. Not a wrinkle in her face. When she talks, her face doesn't move. And so what we can gather from that, Botox. Now, nothing in this is particularly bad. Unless you are trying to convey something to a juror. To a jury. You need to have some form of fucking face expression. And she can't because she's bloated with Botox. And somehow, I don't know how, she got an eyebrow bone enlargement or something. Is she trying to star in a new vampire movie? Or is this how she interprets a non-Jewish person looks like? Yeah. Egger suit. Yeah, brow lift. I mean, you're 46 years old. You are about to testify for the third time in a murder trial, which you got immunity. You're either trying to save your mother or not. But Jesus fucking Christ, you do not even look human. It's a facade. It's plastic padding. Now, it's her choice. It's not that. It's that this is how she chooses to present herself in court as a witness. I don't get it. Maybe in Tallahassee or in Florida, this is absolutely normal to have zero face expression. But I don't get it. For me, this is everything. I mean, if you can't show you're telling the truth, I assume you're a liar. And when I have this non-expressive face, if I can't tell if she's telling the truth or not, I will assume she's lying. That's my opinion.
Lloyd,
I'm an immigration attorney
how long have you been an attorney?
since 2006.
And you're here pursuant to a state subpoena, is that correct?
Yes,
And that subpoena confers a type of immunity on you. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. Which means that nothing you say here in court pursuant to that subpoena can be used against you at a later time. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean you could never be prosecuted. It just means that what you say in court could not be used in any future prosecution. Do you understand that?
Yes,
I want to ask you about your ex-husband, Daniel Markell. Is that a fair and accurate photo of Mr. Markell?
yes.
When did you meet him?
We met originally online. It must have been the fall of my first year of law school, so 2003.
Okay, and when did you marry Mr. Markell?
We married in February of 2006.
Were you living in Tallahassee at some point as a married couple?
Yes,
When did you move to Tallahassee?
we moved to Tallahassee my final year of law school, so that would have been in the summer of 2005. And we were here from 2005 till 2006. We spent a year at the University of Miami from 2006 to 2007, and then came back to Tallahassee from 2007 until 2014.
All right, and during the time that you were living here in Tallahassee, did you live over on Trescott Drive?
For some of the time that we lived here, yes.
And when your first child was born, were you residing at the Trescott Drive residence at that point?
Yes,
Okay. I think I have a photo of that here. Is that the Trescott Drive residence?
yes.
And how many children did you have with Mr. Markell?
We have 2 children.
What were their ages at the time of their father's death?
It was 10 days before my older son's 5th birthday, so he was 4 turning 5, and our younger son was 3.5. The boys are 14 months apart.
And did there come a time when you and Mr. Markell separated?
Yes,
When was the separation?
it was in the fall of 2012.
Whose decision was it to separate?
It was mine.
How did your ex take that news?
Well, we talked about it many times before it actually happened, but when the separation became official, he was very upset.
And even
You moved out while he was at a conference, taking kids and most of everything in the house, and then you stopped communication for about a month. That's and you. Oh, he was so upset. No shit, Sherlock. You basically robbed the guy and hid his children from him. Probably because this bitch here told you to.
though there were problems and issues and discussions, it was a surprise to him when it actually happened, right?
It was.
Okay. And was part of the reason for the separation your differing views on how to raise the kids pursuant to the Jewish faith?
I'd say it was a very small part, but it was a part.
Did you consider your ex to be a religious zealot?
No, I didn't think he was a religious zealot, but I did think he was using religion as a way of controlling me.
Okay. Did you think he was more devout in his faith? than
Fuck
were?
you.
I don't know that, I feel like devoutness has to do with maybe a relationship with God, and I don't know that his was more strong than mine, but he was more observant of kosher rules than I was.
Okay. Can you explain for the jury what those imply? What is
Sure.
this that don't?
So keeping kosher has to do with separating milk from meat, something like you can't eat a cheeseburger. And it has to do with the ritual way that animals are killed. So certain meats would be considered kosher or non-kosher. And then things like shellfish are not allowed or pork would not be allowed. And so his beliefs changed over time. We used to have vegan, and then vegan became a no later on.
All right, and those rules were something that he was wanting to impose on the children, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you were less interested in those kosher rules.
it was less important to me.
All right, were both you and Mr. Markel raised within the Jewish faith?
We were, yes.
When you separated from Mr. Markel, did you move out of the marital home while he was on a business trip?
I did, yes.
Where did you go when you left the marital home?
I went to another property that I had rented for the boys and me.
Was that at 3303 Aqua Ridge Way?
Yes,
Was that located in Leon County?
yes.
What was the custody arrangement? Broad terms are fine for this time frame during the separation.
I think we were just trying to figure out how to make it work. We didn't have any formal custody arrangement at that time. I remember his parents came to town that weekend, and I made sure that he had the boys that weekend. We were just trying to figure out how to make it work until we had something formal.
Was the arrangement roughly 50-50 or something else?
It would have been roughly 50-50.
Okay. And were you mixing it up during the week, or was it a week on, week off situation?
It wasn't week on, week off. We didn't settle into that until the first summer, or maybe the second summer. I don't remember. That was more of a summer arrangement. But it was 50-50 and definitely a mix during the week.
Okay. I'm going to publish what's been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 60. Your petition. Was your mom, Donna Adelson, involved at all in drafting your divorce documents?
No,
Did she ever make any edits to any of the filings that you made pursuant to your divorce?
I think she made suggestions, but I had an attorney, a very good attorney, helping me through the process. So she wasn't editing legal documents.
Did you ever forward any of your mom's suggestions to your lawyer?
I probably did.
And when you did that, would you attribute them to your mom, or would you just forward them along without noting whether they were your questions or your mom's questions?
I honestly don't remember.
Was this a contentious divorce?
It was.
As part of your divorce, did you file a petition to ask the court for permission to relocate to South Florida?
I did.
And I think that was your amended petition. Not sure if we can see that very well. Here we go. It says the wife also desires to relocate to South Florida in order to provide a better quality of life for the children by increasing their access to close family and providing more stability and consistency.
Translation: I want the kids near my family and force the father of the children to travel or to not have the children at all. Hi, Dave. Have you awoken something in Gigi? I think it's the other way around.
Who was the close family that was available in South Florida for the boys?
My mom, my dad, and my brother.
Why did you want to move to South Florida?
I had very unstable employment in Tallahassee. I had a wonderful job, but it was on grant money. So year to year, I never knew if I would still have my job.
You fucktwat. Do you know how many people out there in this business who would fight tooth and nail to have, knowing that you would have a salary, a good one, for the next fucking year? Jesus. And you make it sound like, oh, it was so uncertain. I only knew for a year ahead that I was making a fuck ton of money through a grant. Absolute fucktwat. Jesus, seriously. Do you know how many people all together in the whatever workforce who would fight tooth and nail, knowing they would have a stable, well-paid job for the next year? This pisses me off. The entitlement of this twat is insane. Nothing would ever be enough for this woman. She had a great job, great kids, great husband, but nah, not good enough for me. Jesus fucking Christ.
I had a job offer that was very good in South Florida. And the assumption was that Danny was always going to be at a different school, a better school. He used to joke that he would take 1 bar exam for every 2 bar exams that I had to take while we moved around the country. And so it seemed like a way of having stability while he was climbing up the law professor ladder to be ultimately at Harvard or Yale.
And was relocation important to you?
It was, in terms of having a safe and stable place for my kids.
Did you consider having to live here in Tallahassee, being stuck? Or had you referred to it previously as being stuck in Tallahassee?
I mean, I may have. The idea of being stuck is if you don't have permission to live anywhere you want to live. But I had
You. Jesus Christ. Oh, I couldn't live where I wanted to live. Who the fuck can? Now, for me, after 40 fucking years in the workforce, I finally, for the last 8 years, have somewhere, yeah, I can live here. For the 30 years leading up to that, I was never where I wanted to be. And you just, we have it so good here, but I want it better. You're fucking whore.
a nice quality of life here.
Did you consider the worst case scenario to be that you would end up stuck here in Tallahassee if your petition was denied?
I don't know. I mean, at the time, I may have felt that way.
Okay. Might you have sent an email to a friend on March 24th of 2013 indicating, quote, I do fear that the worst case scenario that could happen is that I will be stuck here in Tallahassee?
It's possible that I sent that.
Would it refresh your recollection to review that item?
I'm happy to.
It's on tab 6 on one of those binders in front of you. Let me
This one.
You know, you have been testifying in 3 trials the past 5 years. You know exactly what you have said and when you said it. This is just theater. This is pissing me off to no end.
I see it's highlighted. So yes.
Okay. And did you also email a friend around the same time frame regarding life in Tallahassee couldn't compare to the life that you would be able to enjoy in South Florida with your brother Charlie and his boat and pool and hot tub and things like that?
It's certainly possible.
Okay, that's on tab 7. Please refresh your recollection.
Hold on.
Yes.
And in fact, didn't you use the word stuck in your actual motion for relocation? Let's see if we can get there.
Let's
Here,
see.
the wife is merely
I
stuck
will
in
show.
Tallahassee until the husband decides that the time is right for him to leave.
So my attorney did write that, and that sounds right.
Did Tallahassee feel claustrophobic to you?
Well, at this point in time, Danny was making lots of unplanned announcements to my office where we work together. So I would see him at work. I never knew when he was showing up. So I'm sure, this is 12 years ago that's how I felt at that time.
Okay. But outside of the context of your relationship with Dan Markell, did you ever express that just the smallness and slowness of Tallahassee made you feel claustrophobic?
I don't remember saying that.
Please refer to
Yes,
tab
you
8
do.
to refresh your recollection. Yes, I can.
Monitor is on the witness stand. Ms. Cotton members of the defense have a copy of the same binder.
No, I'll show them the tab.
Please do.
That's a dense one. Were you able to find it?
I did. I found it's part of a sentence. Can I read the whole sentence?
Sure.
Tallahassee feels claustrophobic at times, given its smallness and slowness, and the fact that my friends cycle through here with transient regularity. So yes, at that moment in time, that's how I was feeling in 2013.
And relocation was pending at the time that you were feeling that way in that moment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And relocation was also very important to your mother, wasn't it?
Yes,
All right. And did you have some discussions with your mother about relocation?
I did.
And was that during that time frame when it was pending?
Yes,
Okay. And do you see your mother in the courtroom here today?
yes.
Could you please point her out and describe what she's wearing?
My mom is on right. I can't see her clothes from here, but she's directly across from me.
All right. Is she wearing a headset on her head?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Let the record.
Yeah. Instead, she's so vain that she chooses to have colored contact lenses before good eyesight. She can't even see her mother's face on what is it? Less than 30 feet away?
Reflect the witness has identified the defendant. Your mom didn't want you to be stuck in Tallahassee either, did she?
She did not.
She wanted the best for you, right?
She saw the best for me as not being in Tallahassee. Yes.
That's right. She referred to being in Tallahassee that you were a hostage and a prisoner, right?
Yes, she did.
Oh no. Clickergate continues. Prisoner. Close enough. Did your mom express concerns that as a Tallahassee native, the judge presiding over your relocation motion would underestimate how much better it would be for you to live in South Florida?
She did.
All right, let me ask you a few questions about your parents. Your mom is Donna Adelson. Who's your dad?
My dad is Harvey Adelson.
And where did your parents, I think you said they were in Coral Springs back in 2012? Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
right? Okay. How long had they lived in the Coral Springs area?
I was born there. So from, I think they started living there when my oldest brother was born. So since the early 70s.
So fair to say they had deep roots there in that area.
Yes.
Can you describe the relationship that your mom had with your kids during the time frame we're talking about? So separation to murder time frame?
It was very close. My mom taught my boys how to read. She taught them how to play chess. It was very close.
Were your parents employed during that time frame?
Yes.
What kind of work did they do?
My dad was a dentist and my mom was the office manager for the dental practice.
All right. And what about your brother, Charlie? Did he have a role there as well?
He was a periodontist. And so I believe at some point he purchased the practice. I don't remember what year that was. But he would sometimes work from my dad's office and sometimes work from other offices around South Florida.
Was the dental practice, the family dental practice, a successful business?
And he
I believe
threw
it
it
was.
all
My
away
family never
because
discussed.
you didn't want to live in Tallahassee. He threw everything away for you and mom by paying for the hitman. He threw it all away. Everything he had, he threw away because Donna and Wendy wanted to control everything about everybody's lives.
Money or finances with me, but I believe it was doing well.
Did you discuss your marital problems and resulting legal issues with your mom?
I
Talk
did.
about relocation, but in general, you did talk about your woes with your mom?
I did.
Okay. And I think you said you did send many of your divorce pleadings to her. Is that right?
I did.
What about your dad? What was his role in reference to your divorce pleadings?
I don't remember exactly. My parents have a shared email. So when I send an email to one of them, I would send it. It was being sent to both, but I don't know who was reading what or at what time.
Is it fair to say they were both welcome to read whatever you sent to that email address?
Yes.
And both welcome to reply as well?
Yes.
Who would reply more frequently, your mom or your dad? To this
My mom
text?
would reply more frequently.
Who took more of an interest in the day-to-day ins and outs of your litigation?
Probably my mom.
Is your mom overprotective of you?
Yes.
Is your mom an emotional person?
Yes.
What about your dad? Is he emotional as well?
I think so.
Okay. Did you previously say he was more of a straight shooter and mom was more emotional?
I think so, but I think women tend to be more emotional and men tend to be less emotional.
Okay.
Before you continue, Ms. Kaplan, I am going to admit state 60JJ at this time. Is there any objection the defense wishes to raise?
Yes, Your Honor, same objection.
The court admits it over objection. For the record, you may continue.
And I think that's the same exhibit that's in State 64AA, Judge. It's not necessary to have duplicates, but because of the way the evidence came out in this trial, that is present in State 64 as well.
States 64AA is admitted as far as the final record. If you wish to remove one, you may, but both are admitted for the record.
Thank you, Judge. All right. Is it fair to say that your mom, the defendant, is a controlling person?
I don't think my mom is a controlling person.
Did you say at one time back in 2013?
Miss Prosecutor, when Wendy lies under oath, commits perjury, that would remove her immunity, wouldn't it? So for her to say, I don't think my mother is a controlling person, she's lying.
That your mom operates with emotional subterfuge.
I may have said that.
Would you like to refresh your memory?
I can.
It's tab 45 in the binder in front of you.
I'm not seeing it. Is it highlighted or is it just in the, it's a long, oh, no.
Copyright in the first paragraph on page 3.
That one, we just walk up and show the witness a portion of what you wish for her to read to herself.
I will judge.
This is 3, I think. I'm sorry. Okay.
So the question was, did you previously say your mom operates with emotional subterfuge?
Yes,
What is meant by that?
I honestly don't know what I meant at the time.
Not that she's controlling.
I don't think that's what I meant.
Did Dan Markel have a hard time understanding some of your mom's behaviors?
I don't remember that.
Well, did she think you incapable of driving to South Florida by yourself with the kids? This is back when they were little.
Yeah, I don't think she thought I was incapable, but I was breastfeeding and it was helpful to have someone with me.
So what was her practice to avoid you having to do that?
One of my parents would come with me for the long drive.
So they would rent a car, come up here, ride back with you, and then follow the same procedure to get you home.
They would drive with me if I was down there, back up, and then rent a car to come home.
And did
Why couldn't they just drive up there and visit like everybody else?
that procedure occur the week before the murder? There was a visit the week before the murder, correct?
I think it was 2 weeks before.
Okay. And on that trip, is that how it was handled, where they rented a car and came up to get you?
Yes.
Did your dad think that was necessary, or was that a mom thing?
No, my dad probably thought it was more necessary.
Okay. And did your dad make a practice of supporting whatever your mom wanted? Is that kind of the general rule?
Yeah.
Was she the dominant force in the household?
I mean, I think my dad had more of a quiet strength, so it's hard to say who was a dominant force. I think they were both equally strong in their parenting.
Okay. Did you previously describe us back in 2013 that your mom was the dominant force in the household? If you need to refresh, it's tab 97.
Okay. So this one goes up to 93. Is it?
Check the very back. That's the extras tucked in there. I'll separate this one.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes.
You did say mom was the dominant force in the household.
Yes.
Did your mom ever try to micromanage your life,
Yes.
your career?
I don't know about my career. I chose to be a lawyer. It wasn't a very popular choice in my household.
Yes. And there were different types of areas of law that she would have preferred you practice. Do you agree with that?
I actually think they were really proud of what I was doing.
Not to suggest she wasn't proud of you, but she was encouraging you to pursue a different type of law that would be more lucrative. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
And what about your dating life? Did she meddle there?
Yes.
Did she create a dating profile for you on Match.com
I don't know if it was Match.com, but I do remember a dating profile at some point.
that she created for you?
I didn't use it, but yes.
And conducted searches for men in the Miami area and sent them to you.
I think
Remember
this was
that?
when I was living in DC, maybe.
Okay, let's go forward a little bit here. Sorry, we'll get there. Okay, so here we have an email dated January 17th, 2013. For the record, this is 64I. And it reads, so honey, so you think I'm nuts, but when you get a moment, check out some of these whom I've pre-screened for you. And these are guys in Miami, right? After all, you're going to be in Miami here and there. Why not see who's out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And here's some options that she sent you. Here's an interesting guy, etc. Okay. Did you ever feel like your mom was walking all over you?
I don't remember feeling that way.
Okay. What about specifically regarding this divorce?
I don't. I mean, I had a really good attorney and I was making the decisions I wanted to make.
Okay. And did you, back in April of 2013, tell a friend that you were trying to find a way to coexist with your mom that didn't feel like she was trampling your autonomy?
I'm sure I said that in 2013.
How did your mom feel about Dan Markel in this time frame, 2012 to 2016?
And I think I think a lot changed between 2012 and 2016. So I think her feelings about him changed over time.
Okay. And what about in 2016? Did she hate Dan Markel?
No, not in 2016.
What about 2014? Did she hate him then?
No.
Did you say do you remember giving a law enforcement interview in reference to this case?
Yes, I remember.
That was the same day that Mr. Markel was shot, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did you say in that interview for court and counsel, I'm referring to page 288, lines 24 through 289, line 1, quote, "My parents have more reason to dislike Danny than almost anyone else."
At that point, I was sitting with law enforcement for 6 hours and had just been told that Danny had been shot. So I was in shock and I was trying to help the police think of anything I could possibly think of that would be helpful.
And are you suggesting that after 6 hours you became fatigued to the point that you started saying things that weren't true?
No, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. I just was in shock. I just kept talking and talking and talking.
When your mom is
Yeah,
really
you
upset
did.
about something,
Implicated.
does she talk about it a
In
lot?
principle, everybody.
Yes.
And when she talks about it a lot, and I'm referring you back to this time frame, does she talk to your brother Charlie specifically a lot?
My mom and Charlie have always talked a lot.
Okay. And was Charlie kind of like your mom's problem solver?
I don't know about that. I kind of feel like it was where she would help him more throughout childhood and adulthood. She would help him solve problems. Not really.
She definitely did a lot for him, didn't she?
She did.
She helped him with his business. She helped him with his personal life, his finances, his bills, remember to pay the whatever. She was like still mothering him into adulthood, right?
Yes.
Okay. But as far as meddling in your life, did your mom feel that Charlie could make more progress with you than she could on items like who you were going to date?
I would just be guessing about that.
At the time of Dan Markel's murder, was the defendant, your mother, very angry at Dan Markel?
Before he died,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
And you hated him too, right?
At certain points, I was very frustrated with him.
Did you refer to him as an STD?
I don't remember saying that.
Tab 5.
Huh. Uh-oh. She's trying to get away by saying, "Oh, I don't really remember those things." And yeah,
Looks like I need that analogy.
There it is. There it
Danny
is.
is an STD. One wrong mistake, marrying him, and this will never go away. Is that what you said?
I did.
Did you share that kind of sentiment with your mother?
I don't remember ever saying that, so I don't think it's something I said very often.
And this was said in an email on February 26th of 2013, correct?
It was.
Approximately 17 months before the murder?
Yes, I don't think it was an email, though. It looks like it was sort of an iMessage.
Okay. Did you ever refer to your ex-husband as the Dark Lord?
I don't remember saying that, but I certainly might have.
Did you refer to your ex-husband as Jibbers?
I did.
What is the meaning of Jibbers?
Jibbers was just a silly name that a friend helped me come up with to basically make him feel less scary. It was nonsense.
Did it reference Jew in boots?
That I don't remember.
It wasn't a friendly name, right?
It was a silly name.
Did you ever say that you hated Dan Markel?
I don't remember saying it, but I certainly could have.
Tab 31, please, to refresh your memory.
I said that I hate him in this moment.
Okay. And did you say in that email, that same email, quote, I hate my children's dad?
I did.
And do you agree that email was sent approximately 15 months before Mr. Markel was murdered?
It was in April of 2013.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yes, ma'am. Approach with what I've marked as 56A, B.
What was what picture?
As 56A, B, C, and 57. I asked you about the Jibbers nickname. Did you have that nickname stored in your cell phone as Dan Markel's contact name?
I did.
Jesus Christ.
These exhibits and ask if they're fair and accurate. Contacts 56A.
Mom, he doesn't do what I tell him all the time.
It's on his phone
Mom.
number, so that would have been.
Well, it's
it's a
because he's
picture
the
of
Dark
Ben as a
Lord,
little guy.
apparently.
My mom.
Okay, so fair and accurate contact
Yes.
on your phone for mom at that time.
Yes,
Okay, and 56B,
that's my dad.
that's his phone number.
It is.
Okay, 56C,
That's my brother.
Charlie.
Yes.
Okay, fair and accurate phone number for him at that time.
Yes.
And then 57 is that the contact you had in there for your ex-husband, Dan Markel.
Yes.
Judge, at this time, I asked to move the evidence 56 and 57.
Any objection? States 56 and 57 are admitted at this time.
Did you ever refer to your ex-husband, Dan Markel, as an emotional terrorist?
I I very well could have. I don't remember saying that, but
That one's on tab 34.
I don't remember. Yes,
so
you
sorry.
do,
Is
because
that-
you
yes, I believe this
testified
is-
to
I
it
see it. I
last
said
time.
it in December of 2013.
Approximately 7 months before his murder.
December to, yes, approximately 7 months.
And tab 35, in June of 2014, did you say of your ex-husband, I hate him so?
I don't see it.
Are you on tab 35?
No, I was on tab 34. It's tab 35.
Sorry, yes.
I did write that.
And that was approximately 3 weeks before Mr. Markel was murdered, correct?
Yes.
How about
Okay. Lost my clicker.
that? What's pissing me off here is with the ease Wendy is lying. She has been in court 3 times. She has been in depositions numerous times. She has gone through this over and over again. All of this, I don't remember ever saying that, is just an act. She did the same fucking thing in Charlie's trial.
Clickers are a real problem for me. All right, next I want to ask you about Mr. Markel's response to your petition to relocate. Is it fair to say he was adamantly opposed to that motion?
Yes.
All right, and you all fought over things large, of course, but also very small, like in this pleading, a tennis racket is mentioned, right?
Yes.
And, oh, jumped ahead on us. Okay, let's go back. In Mr. Markel's response, for court and counsel, this is page 82 of Exhibit 60. He indicates the husband affirmatively alleges that the wife helped herself to non-marital assets, including money and stocks owned prior to marriage, as well as numerous personal non-marital belongings of the husband, such as luggage, bicycle, tennis racket, and family heirlooms. Did you take those things when you vacated the property?
I did remember taking his tennis racket by accident and I returned that, but otherwise I didn't take his belongings.
Did you strategize to
By
leave him
accident, because
in a
you
way that would cause or
ransacked
inflict
the
maximum
home
damage
when you
upon
left.
him?
No,
Is that something your mom ever said?
I don't
To your
remember that.
knowledge? Did you discuss with your mom how and when you would leave your marriage?
I did.
Do you recall so November 2nd, 2012 email where Dan Markel was saying to you, let's put all this aside. This is all about the kids. Let's act toward each other in a way that they can be proud of. Did he say that to you?
I remember reading an email like that.
All right. And we talked about the Aqua Ridge apartment, or I guess it was a home residence. Is this a fair and accurate photo? I blurred your kids' faces, but of the living space there.
Thank you for doing that. Yes, that's our home.
And did your mom help you secure this place to live? Do you have any involvement in that?
She did.
Okay. What involvement did she have?
She helped me move in.
Okay. Did she help you locate the place to live?
I think
at
so.
all? Okay. Did she come up and look at places with you as well?
We did.
Did Dan Markel threaten
Mommy
you in the
helped with
pleadings
everything.
with federal kidnapping charges?
He did.
And that was associated with the way he claimed that you left the marriage.
Yes.
And he says you took the kids and did not tell him where they were for several, I think I've seen days and weeks. Is that true?
It's true that he said that. It's not true that that's what happened.
What was his position on your motion to relocate?
We did talk about it before I filed it, and he was amenable to figuring it out. But once I filed it, he was against it.
Okay. Did he allege in his response that the sole stated reason that you wanted to relocate was to be closer to your parents?
He did say that in his response.
And is that the response that your mom referred to as his 23-page rant?
Probably.
She had a lot of thoughts about that particular filing, didn't she?
Yes.
Okay. And she laid those out in an email to you. I know you remember. That's the whole, your non-negotiable is relocation.
Yes.
Do you recall having 2 long mediations to try to resolve your divorce without a trial?
Yes.
And were those mediations successful?
They were not.
Was Mr. Markel seeking to depose your mother as part of the divorce proceedings?
I don't remember that.
What about your brother, Charlie? Did he care about whether you moved to South Florida or not?
I think so. I mean, I think he would have liked for me to be closer to him and have the kids closer to him.
Would it have been okay with him if you had made a decision to stay in Tallahassee?
I would have imagined so, yes.
And after the relocation motion was denied, you were kind of like, well, maybe I have to stay in Tallahassee. Wasn't there at least a moment of that for you?
I mean, it wasn't maybe, that was the court's decision, and I respect the court's decision, and,
No, you didn't.
you know, I would make the best of it.
What about Charlie? Was he outraged by the court's decision?
I honestly don't remember him being outraged.
But to your mom, it was a big deal.
My mom was really upset.
It was described by your mom in several places as like a life and death proposition. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think my mom thought my life in Tallahassee wasn't good.
Is it true that you never would have left Dan Markel without your mom's suggestions?
Overruled. She may answer the question based on her own knowledge.
I would have left Danny regardless of anyone else's input. I was very unhappy.
Did you ever write that you would have never left him without your mom's suggestions?
I don't remember saying that.
Please refer to tab 41 and see if it refreshes your
And
memory.
here comes the receipts. Yeah.
I do say here I wouldn't have done it on my own.
Did you specifically reference your mom?
I say my parents and brother's suggestions and support.
Okay.
I think because I wasn't happy, but part of me thought maybe I would just stay until the kids grew up.
Just one moment. I've lost my place a little bit.
Yeah, but you and Mommy Dearest couldn't have that, could you?
All right. I think you already testified you did not offer your mom your divorce petition to edit. Is that your testimony?
Sorry,
Did you
What's the
send your
question?
divorce petition to your mother to assist you in editing it?
I don't remember doing it.
Okay. And did your mom also pretend to be you to Mercer University to help you complete your divorce affidavit?
I have no memory of that.
Got a little pop out here of this email from your mom. Obviously, I pretended to be you contacting these financial institutions. Is that something that she would normally do on your behalf? Pose as you?
I had very little understanding or involvement of my financial situation. And so that might have been an account that my dad had created for me or that had like co-signatory authority. So that's possible.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
And here, did you forward a letter that was written on or sent to you on December 19th of 2013 from Dan Markel, where he was kind of wanting you back and making a lot of concessions? I'll stop coming home late, etc. Do you recall that
I do.
long email? Did you forward that to your mother?
I very well may have.
And do you recall she replied with sort of a paragraph by paragraph breakdown of that, Dan Markel?
How about that?
email?
He wanted the
So I
mother
see that
of
here. I
his
mean, I
children
certainly
to
didn't
not
remember, but I see
be
that
out
there's a-
partying.
there's a response here.
Okay. I think I've got
Imagine
her
that.
responses. Did you respond to her? Very nicely done, Mom. This is great.
It looks like I did, yes.
And then we go to L. In her responses, I guess they've got a joint email. So how do we know it's mom and not dad? Do we?
I don't.
Does dad send responses like these? This is all the response. Would Harvey detail like that in a response?
No, but it could be that my dad and mom were talking and that she was the scribe, right? That they were, that it reflects both of their thoughts and that my mom's the one writing it.
And many of the emails are signed mom and dad, or they reference dad and I feel this way. Was it common for your mom to express for the two of them a certain position?
Yes.
And in this particular email, so this is a little confusing, but she responds paragraph by paragraph, K3, K5, K6, referencing Dan Markel's email to you and refuting each paragraph. And she felt that his position was outrageous, right?
Yes,
And she thought his religious practices were extreme, didn't she?
she did. Yes.
She was extremely concerned about the well-being of the children in reference to his religious practices.
Yes.
He was a kosher Jew. That's not extreme unless you are like Donna Adelson. You by name alone.
She wanted a psychological evaluation of Mr. Markel.
Yes.
Didn't need a psychological evaluation, did he?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Was he an extremely intelligent, accomplished law professor?
Yes.
Your mom ever call Dan Markel any disparaging names around this time frame?
She did.
Okay, including piece of shit,
Yes.
asshole,
Yes.
a narcissist,
Yes.
a bully,
Yes.
a bastard,
Yes.
Did your mom help you prepare for your meetings with your divorce lawyer?
My mom offered help, but I don't think I needed help preparing for meetings with my divorce lawyer.
Who was your divorce lawyer?
Kristen Adelson.
Your mom, in an email dated January 9th, 2013, indicates that she thinks the job opportunities that you had in South Florida was a major bargaining chip in your divorce. Did you agree with that?
Did I agree with it at the time?
Yes.
I don't remember.
And she did a lot of work sort of making arguments to that point, didn't she?
I believe so.
And did you forward your correspondence with your lawyer to your mother?
I did.
Publishing 64. I'm going to skip to J. She wanted to be kept informed, right?
Yes.
Your mom mentions, see if I can find it. This is 64G, your South Florida legal team. She will try to remember to discuss things with your South Florida legal team. Who is that?
I think she was jokingly referring to herself.
Oh, she's the South Florida legal team.
I don't know who else it would have been. I think that's why there's a smiley face. I think it was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, why would she call herself that?
More questions for your upcoming hearing with your attorney. Did you forward your mom's questions or ask your mom's questions when you met with your attorney?
Probably not all of them, but if there was something that I thought was useful, I probably forwarded it or had a conversation about it.
And here you can see in paragraph 2, your mom referred to Dan Markel as Gibbers as well, right?
It was a silly name. Yeah.
Oh, so silly.
Let's go to the order denying your petition to relocate. Was your mom aware that the order was filed?
Yes.
Okay. And this is language from the order denied with prejudice, meaning you can't re-raise it, right?
Right. You can't refile.
And your mom wanted to fight the decision, didn't she?
She did.
Did you feel railroaded by her in this email where she's kind of bullying you to keep fighting?
Please rephrase your question.
Did you feel railroaded by your mother?
No.
Okay, but she wants you to continue to take action.
It was denied. I wasn't taking any more action.
Not any more legal action.
I was not taking any more action of any kind.
Didn't your mom have some other ideas for some other actions that could happen?
She did.
She did want to take it to an appeal. Do you remember that?
Actually, I don't remember, but
That's on tab 43 of your binder.
I don't remember. It's there. It's there.
yes, I see.
Okay, but she also wanted to develop this plan of action that could be implemented between the time you learned of the relocation denial and your final hearing in court to maybe strong arm Mr. Markel into agreeing to the relocation. Do you remember that email?
Yes.
Okay, and she had some ideas for how to do that, right?
Yes.
And she said Gibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what was her plan of action? What did she suggest you could do to get Dan Markel to relent and let you take his kids to South Florida?
She suggested that I pretend that the boys had become Christian.
Is that something you would ever consider doing?
No.
She was going to pay for them to get instruction on the Christian faith, right?
That was what she said.
And she said she looked into it and she could get them baptized in a couple weeks. Do you remember that?
I don't remember, but I'm sure it's here.
Do you remember her imploring you to put on a good act?
I do.
Did your mom, I don't know, do you have any acting training?
No.
Do you know why your mom would Google how to teach an actress emotion?
I don't know.
Did she ever share with you or forward you any tips on how to bring emotion or fake emotion?
Not that I remember of any kind.
All right. What about a financial offer? Was that part of it as well?
Yes.
What was the financial offer to be?
I think it was $1 million.
Who was going to pay the $1 million?
My mom, my dad, and my brother.
And they were going to pay $1 million. You didn't have to pay any of it?
I don't remember having to pay any of it
Okay. And they were going to give Dan Markel $1 million for what?
so that I could relocate.
Okay. Did you ever make that offer to Dan Markel?
No.
To your knowledge, did anyone make it to him?
I don't think so.
Would it have worked?
I don't think so.
It's all about getting control from Dan Markel, right?
Yes.
He's so controlling. He wants to be near the kids. He wants joint custody. He wants to be a kosher Jew. Oh, that's so controlling. Oh, that's so controlling. Oh, I just want to be a party girl who eats pork. Jesus fuck.
And you told her these ideas were crazy, didn't you?
I did.
I will not be introducing my children to Christianity. I truly believe it will backfire.
As the counsel testifying, sustained, please make sure you're asking open-ended questions of the witness. Ms. Kaufman,
I'm reading from State's Exhibit 64B, which is in evidence.
please proceed.
Did you say it would backfire?
Yes, those are my words.
And what did you mean by backfire?
I don't remember, but I can read there below what I was saying.
Did it have to do with this will give him ammunition to pursue things in court?
I might have meant that at the time.
Did your mom respect your decision not to use her suggestions?
I mean, she had to have, right? I'm a grown up.
Huh.
She kept pushing though, didn't she?
She was suggesting other ideas.
Okay, January 27th, 2013 email 64W. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show gibbers that he's not in control. Did she suggest that to you?
Yes.
She urged you to rethink your decision not to implement her suggestions, didn't she?
Yes.
She wanted you to do an act of defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. Why would she want to scare Mr. Markel?
So that he would let me relocate, I guess.
Still playing in 1.5 speed. Now, had this been the YSL trial, I could have done this in 3 hours. This judge is running a really, really good courtroom. Few pauses, few sidebars. We are not even halfway, and we are 2 hours into this stream at
She
1.5
says here,
speed.
and I'm still on 64W. I don't know how much of the big picture you're seeing, honey.
Yeah, this will be more of this. I want to go forward to cross-examination. Because once the defense gets to question her, all of a sudden things get a little bit more spicy. Because, as you know, Donna's lawyers have decided to throw Wendy under the bus.
My lawyer, he never followed up.
Were you happy to be out of Tallahassee?
Oh, and there we have a sidebar. Sidebar number 6. And Wendy takes the opportunity to read through this, still without any facial
Mom did it.
expressions.
So I don't know if I sent it to myself or if it's from my mom.
Would you have sent it to yourself?
I'm a little better with tech stuff than my parents, so I might have helped them put together an Evite.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't remember.
there she is.
So that's at least a relief.
All right, cross-examination.
Best place to listen to that call. Docs. You've never. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Represent your mother in this case. You've never spoken to me about this case, correct?
I have not.
I guess the best place to start is where you left off with respect to the comments that you made regarding your mother taking it well. When's the last time you listened to that call?
I haven't listened to it. You listened to the call I had with my mom. I've never listened to it.
Well, from the interview room, you've never listened to your interview?
I have read the transcript of my interview, but I never listened to my interview.
You don't recall the shock in your mother's voice when you told her what had happened?
I do think she was shocked.
You could hear that over the phone, correct?
Yes.
So many topics were covered. I'm gonna have to kind of skip around, okay? Katie McManawa, Catherine McManawa, I guess people call her Katie. There was a picture of you with her at the beach, and there was another young lady there. You recall that?
I recall the picture, yes.
And that was Father's Day weekend, I guess, of 2014.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think your testimony was that really you only knew her with Charlie. Is that right?
That's right.
Was Charlie at the beach?
No.
Your mother wasn't there either, was she?
No.
And then I think you mentioned that you had a dinner with Katie.
And my brother.
Okay. Was that before you went to the beach?
It was a different time.
Do you recall if it was before then?
It was before, but several months before.
Several months before.
Mhm.
Okay. So if this was Father's Day, when do you think you actually met her for the first time?
I think I met her when I was doing the alternative spring break. So that's usually March or April.
Same year?
Same year.
And the dinner that was mentioned, is that the first place you ever met her?
That's the first place I remember meeting her.
And who all was there?
It was my brother and Katie and Jeff and I. Jeff
Mr.
Lacasse.
I'm sorry, how do you pronounce it?
Lacasse.
Lacasse. Okay, so the four of you were there. Your mother was not there.
No.
I want you to, it's been 11 years, so a lot I'm sure has happened to you in the past 11 years. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And your memory may not be as good as it was of things that happened back then, now that 11 years has passed. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. As best you can, I want you to take yourself out of the year 2025 and go back to the years somewhere like 2010 through 2014 when Mr. Markell was murdered, okay?
Okay.
In that time frame are going to be most of the questions that I ask you.
Okay.
All right. I think you testified you had a brother, Charlie,
Yes.
and you have a brother, Rob.
Yes.
So that was a five-member family.
Yes.
Okay. And Rob's the oldest.
Yes.
Charlie is the middle.
Yes.
And you're the baby.
Yes.
And you grew up in a household where, was your mother working when you were younger?
No.
Okay. She stayed home with the kids.
She did.
And at some point she went back into teaching, which is what she had done before she had her first child, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she did that after you were in school. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you all went to school, grade school, high school. You grew up, right?
Yes.
Each one of you went off to college.
Yes.
Each one of you got a postgraduate degree.
Yes.
So you're an attorney.
Yes.
Charlie became a periodontist.
Yes.
Which is someone who does surgery related to dentistry, correct?
Yes.
And then Rob's a doctor as well.
Yes.
And throughout the time that you all were going to college, your parents helped support you,
Yes.
every one of you.
Yes.
And you had a good childhood.
I did.
And your mom took good care of you all.
Yes.
She treated you well.
Yes.
Very kind.
Yes.
Very loving.
Yes.
Very caring towards her family and others.
Yes.
I think you once described her as being kind, empathetic, and very loving and sensitive person. You recall that?
I don't recall that, but that sounds right.
That she radiates positivity.
Yes.
She has a very
Sure.
loving and respectful and fun relationship with my dad. They are very much in love. Now it's been 54 years.
It has.
You said your mom was completely selfless.
Yes.
That's the opposite of selfish.
It is.
It means she's caring more about others than she does about herself.
Yes, ma'am.
And what she did was for others.
Yes.
Never doing anything for herself.
Correct.
She was invested in your lives.
Yes.
And both your brothers.
Yes.
Okay. You were a close family.
Yes.
And would you say she was a good mother to you?
Yes. Very good mother.
And a very good grandmother as well.
Yes.
When you had your first child, and you needed someone to help out, your mother came.
She did.
And she spent time there.
Yes.
And when the baby was crying in the middle of the night so that you could get some rest, she took care of the baby.
She did.
And she did that for both of your children.
Yes.
By the way, the last witness of today is Rob, the oldest sibling. Rob has never testified in any of the prior trials, but is here to testify now.
Fair to say that your mom has always been there for you when you needed her,
Yes.
for little things and big things.
Yes.
Now, you said that you testified that you left Danny in September of 2012. You recall that?
Yes.
From September of 2012 until March of 2013, your mother actually spent quite a bit of time helping you with the boys in Tallahassee, correct?
She did. Yes.
She would go home and take care of things there, but she would return.
Yes.
So a substantial amount of each month, she was there assisting you with the children.
Yes.
While you were at work, she may take them to school. Is that correct, or daycare?
I don't remember that one, whether I dropped them at school or my mom did, but it's certainly possible that she took them to school.
She might have picked them up.
Yes.
She did some housework, cleaning up around the house.
Yes.
She bought groceries.
Yes.
She cooked.
Yes.
She cleaned.
Yes.
She was there for you because you had just left a marriage where you had a partner helping you, and now you were adjusting to being by yourself, correct?
Yes.
Now, at the time, this time period we're talking about, your mother lived in, where did you say, Coral Springs?
Coral Springs.
And where's that in relation to Miami?
It's Broward County, so it's the county north of Dade County, which is where Miami is.
And in Broward County, that's like where Fort Lauderdale is?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and their dentist practice that they had that's been referred to Adelson Institute.
Yes,
That was located in Broward County, correct?
it was. Yes.
Not far from where your parents lived.
Yes, in Tamarack, so close to Coral Springs.
And at some point, they got the place down in Miami, right?
Yes.
So what they were doing was they would work Monday through Thursday and stay at their home in Coral Springs, right?
Mhm,
And
yes.
then they would go and spend the weekend at the place in Miami. Is that right?
I don't think every weekend, but some weekends.
Some of them.
Yeah,
And you visited there.
I did.
Now, when your mother would come up to assist you or just to visit with you and the children and Danny, did she drive typically or fly?
I think sometimes drive, sometimes fly.
Okay. And that's
Most of the time drive, I think.
most of the time drive. And that's almost an 8-hour trip, correct?
It is, yes.
And at the time that this occurred, your mother would have been, when Danny was murdered, she would have been, let's see, 64-ish.
That sounds right.
She's 75 now. Is that yes?
Yes,
And sometimes she would rent cars, is that right?
yes,
As opposed to driving her vehicle.
yes,
Your father came sometimes as well to help out?
yes.
I'm going to talk about Mr. Markel for a few minutes. I think you said you met online.
We did.
But you were attracted to him.
Yes,
He was a handsome young man.
yes.
You're a beautiful young woman.
Thank you.
And you got married.
We did, yes,
And there were times, I mean, we've heard about the divorce, but before the divorce, there were times where you had a happy marriage.
yes,
And you all enjoyed spending time together.
yes,
The two of you together and with your children.
yes,
And even your parents who would come up and spend time with you.
yes,
And your parents actually took you and Danny on vacations, right?
yes.
There was one.
I'm playing this just to make sure that you guys hear all the good thing that this attorney is, the beautiful picture that is being painted here. Remember, the state gets to redirect. Just have that in mind when you hear this absolutely glorious relationship everybody had with each other.
trip where they took you out of the country and you went ziplining. Do you remember that?
Yes, we went to Costa Rica.
And after the ziplining is when you told them that you were pregnant, correct?
I went ziplining pregnant. Yes.
You would agree with me that Danny, I'm saying Danny because that's what people call him. I'm not trying to be disrespectful of him. He's
No, I called him Danny.
okay. You would agree that he was very intelligent.
Yes, very.
He had 2 degrees from Harvard, correct?
Yes,
Undergraduate and law school.
yes, ma'am.
He did a lot of writing.
Yes,
And at the time that he was murdered, he was a tenured professor at the College of Law here at FSU, correct?
yes,
And becoming tenured is not like an automatic thing. You have to work towards that, right?
yes,
It takes a lot of time,
it does.
a lot of effort.
Mhm.
He put in a lot of work to gain that status.
Yes,
And he traveled to go and speak at different places, right?
yes,
And he was well respected by his colleagues.
yes, very.
And after he had children, those became the love of his life, didn't they?
Yes,
And even after you separated, I think you would agree with me that Danny made a great deal of effort to get as much time with his children as he could. Is that fair?
yes, absolutely.
Even when it was your time to have the children, he would go to their preschool and visit with them there.
Yes,
He wanted to talk to them on the phone when he didn't have them,
yes,
and he wanted to Skype with them,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
That is good here by Gigi. This lawyer is trying, but it comes across as trying too hard. Yeah, folks, they have just been listening to on direct with Wendy all the absolutely horrific things Donna said and did. And now all of a sudden, oh no, she's a saint.
And that, I'm sorry, I'm old, but that involved like a computer where you can see each other while you're talking. Is that right?
I think now it's something you could do on the phone, but back then you needed a computer.
And you assisted with that?
I did.
Not necessarily the schedule he wanted.
I'm sorry?
You didn't necessarily keep the schedule that Danny wanted for Skyping, right?
I did try.
You tried.
Yes,
But that was one of the things you two bickered about.
it was.
And during the time that you were with Danny, your mother was always kind to him, wasn't she?
She was.
Before you got married to him,
Yes,
while you were married to him,
yes,
while you were separated,
yes,
and after the divorce.
yes,
And there's been a lot of testimony and a lot of pictures put up, lots of things highlighted about the ugly things that your mother said about Danny during the course of the separation, the divorce, and the follow-up litigation, right?
yes,
And you shared, as you've testified, some of the pleadings that were filed in your case.
yes,
And some of the pleadings weren't very attractive towards you, were they?
No.
They described things that were derogatory towards you. Is that fair?
yes,
And the communications that you had with Danny during the separation, leading up to the divorce, and some thereafter, were pretty critical of you, weren't they?
the communication on paper, which
Right.
was very different than the communication in person.
Right. But the paperwork was critical.
Yes,
And you shared that with your mother.
yes,
And some of the things that he said to you in writing, whether they were communications or in the pleadings, upset you.
yes,
Some of it was very upsetting to you.
yes,
And you shared it with your mother, and then she became upset.
yes,
And she said bad words.
yes,
She called him a lot of bad names.
yes,
She said ugly things about him.
yes,
But not one single time did she ever suggest in writing or to you personally that Danny deserved to be harmed, did she?
never,
Never said he needed to be killed.
never,
Never suggested any harm to him in any way.
never.
And those things that she said,
Yeah, remember when they talked about all the wiretapping and the bump. Donna is a person who is very, very careful with not having the worst things on paper.
Said to you in the emails, the communications I assume that you all thought were between yourselves, you never shared those with Danny, did you?
No.
And during the separation, well, during the time you're married, we've already established, but during the separation, if Danny needed help with the children, your mother assisted him, didn't she?
He had called her and asked for help at various times, and she did.
And after the divorce, the same thing, correct?
He would call and ask for help, and she would help.
You have States Exhibit 60 up there?
I don't see anything that says 60 on it.
We can't use this book. Is this JJ? You have to witness, John? I'm going to show you what has been entered into evidence as States Exhibit 60, and I think they refer to it as JJ.
Okay.
Okay. And this would be your, it's going to fall if you don't hold that
Okay,
side. I'm sorry.
no problem.
I can't get this over for some reason.
I can try.
But this has been referred to as the pleadings that are within your dissolution file.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to leave that with you. Okay.
Okay.
Could you look at that document, the JJ, please?
Yes, you want me to just keep reading through it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I want you to familiarize yourself with it.
Continue to
I
read
just
to
want- you don't need to read every word. If you would just familiarize yourself so that you can recall the substance of that pleading.
Okay.
Okay. Prior to you filing your petition for dissolution, do you want me to come and get that?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Prior to filing your petition for dissolution, what kind of experience did you have regarding divorce proceedings?
I'm trying to understand the question.
Yeah,
So
sure.
prior to filing the dissolution of marriage,
Yes.
there weren't any divorce proceedings prior to filing.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is because you're an attorney, were you familiar with family law?
No,
Had you participated in any helping anybody with their dissolution of marriage?
I had not.
Completely unfamiliar with the process.
I was unfamiliar with the process.
And that pleading that's before you, are you back on the front page of that?
I can get back to the front page. I'm on the front page.
Okay. And could you read for the jury what the title of that pleading is?
Yes, ma'am. Former husband's counter motion for enforcement of MSA on parenting issues and motion for contempt and sanctions.
Doesn't say grandmother motion, does it?
No.
And in fact, the overwhelming majority of that motion relates to Danny's complaints about you and parenting issues, correct?
It does, yes.
And in fact, what they call the grandmother part of that motion is really Danny complaining about you not meeting the requirements of the right of first refusal, correct?
That's correct.
Because his complaint is that if you gave him the right of first refusal, some of the times he could take it and the children would be with him instead of the grandmother.
Yes,
It wasn't actually suggesting that from this point forward, your mother could no longer have anything but supervised visitation, correct?
I didn't see it that way.
And in any event, your mother never saw that motion, did she?
No, she did not.
May I approach? I'm going to take the book. I don't know if I'm going to give it back to you or not. That way it's not going to fall on you.
Okay.
Now, the state has referred to this bribe. You've heard him talk about that, correct?
I believe so.
They suggested, because I think there are emails that we discussed this, about potentially offering Danny $1 million.
Yes,
And your understanding of what was trying to take place there, because you actually put that in writing, was it wasn't to take the children away from Danny, was it?
no,
It was in hopes that he would relocate to Miami as well, correct?
yes,
And that although you would live separate lives, you could raise your children together, correct?
yes,
Because there were more opportunities for him, Danny, to practice his Jewish faith in Miami than there is in Tallahassee, correct?
correct.
They have kosher food in Miami,
Yes,
lots of it.
yes,
They don't have that in Tallahassee.
no.
And the $1 million
They don't have kosher in Tallahassee? Shahab of Tallahassee was the first one that showed up. Yeah, there's kosher in Tallahassee. Well, it is now. Was it that in 2010 to 2014? I mean, seriously. You can find kosher everywhere.
offer was not to bribe him in what sounds like an illegal sense. It was an incentive for him to relocate himself to Miami, correct?
Yes, that was my understanding. Yes,
You lived there with him before,
yes,
and he liked living there.
yes. He
In
liked it
fact,
very much.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, that's okay. I was just saying he liked it very much.
In fact, he tried to get a professorship at the University of Miami School of Law.
He did.
And if he had gotten that, the plan between you and he was to stay in Miami, correct?
We would have, yes.
But he didn't get it. And so he had already been employed by FSU College of Law, right?
Yes.
And so you moved up here and finished law school and you all remained in this area.
Yes.
So the $1 million would offset, as the state has mentioned, travel expenses if he moved there, correct?
Right.
He only taught 2 days a week, right?
Yes.
And so that would have given him the opportunity to live in Miami. But for the 2 days a week he needed to be in Tallahassee, he could take plane trips, right?
Yes.
And be here.
Yes.
And if you all had done that, he still could have enjoyed 50% parenting time with his children, right?
That would have been the same. Yes.
It wasn't to take him away from the kids.
No.
We're going to talk about relocation more than once, but I just want to make sure I understand how that all came about. Okay. So it was, you left the marital home in August or September of 2012.
I think it was September.
Okay. So you separated officially in 2012.
Yes.
By the time he was murdered, almost 2 years had passed.
Yes.
Do I understand it correctly that somewhere around October or November of 2012 that you interviewed for a job at a law firm in Miami?
I did.
And that was the Grossman firm?
I think it's Grossman and Roth.
Okay. And somewhere around December of 2012, they made you an offer.
They did.
And I don't need to know numbers, but was it substantially more than you were making in Tallahassee?
It wasn't. It was just more secure.
More secure. Okay. Not more money?
No, it was more money, but it just more than anything, it was secure money as opposed to grant money that could be taken away.
Okay. So you were a professor also at the law school here in Tallahassee?
I was.
FSU?
Yes.
You were not tenured?
No, I was a clinical professor.
Okay. So being tenured means you have more stability in your job.
Yes, you have more job security.
Job security. Okay. And so you got that offer in December, and sometime in January, you told Danny that you had a good job offer, correct?
Yes, I asked to meet with him and we went to get coffee and talk about it.
Okay. And in part of that discussion, you asked him if he would consider all of you, not together, but all of you
Yes.
relocating to Miami, correct?
I did.
And he was going to consider that,
He
correct?
said he was considering it. He wasn't opposed to it.
You thought it would be good for all of you, correct?
I thought it could be.
Isn't it nice to be able to tell the court what Dan said and didn't say when he can't be there and say, this is bullshit?
Including the boys.
Yes.
I assume they are not
He decided
objecting
he
to
didn't
this
wanna do it, right?
because
He changed
they
his mind.
have something.
But you didn't change your mind, right?
No, I kept going with it.
So you filed a motion for temporary relocation, and you also amended your petition for dissolution to add relocation, correct?
I did.
At the time that you filed it, do you think you had a good shot at it?
I thought I had a shot. I didn't really know. It would depend on the judge.
And we'll go back to it later, but I guess on June the 18th of 2013, which would be right before your divorce was finalized, right? You had a hearing on your motion for relocation.
Yes.
And the state has already presented in its exhibits a copy of the order, and relocation was denied, correct?
It was.
And after relocation was denied, you and Danny were able to work out some kind of temporary schedule for the summer.
We were.
Okay. And then you proceeded forward, and there's been discussion. There was a mediation that did not resolve your divorce, but
Mm.
within
Oh, and by the way, I might have skipped this one in direct examination. Sorry, I didn't have the timestamp. Guess who weren't on Dan's funeral? Wendy weren't there. And the kids. That speaks a lot of it, doesn't it? That speaks volumes. How little they cared.
a few days thereafter, you did come to an agreement with Danny, correct?
We did.
You agreed to all of the issues in the dissolution of marriage, right?
Yes.
Including how you were going to share time with him.
Yes.
Was it ever your intention in the dissolution proceedings from the time that you moved out of your marital home that you would actually take the children's custody completely away from Danny so that he couldn't see them?
No,
Did you always want them to be a big part of his life?
of course.
He loved them and they loved him.
Yes.
Yes. That's fine. The bailiff will take you all to your room.
All right, jury is out. Let's see what they are going to talk about. Oh, they're just having a break. Or
They can come here to use it. Thank you. You all can be seated. Resolve that if your client does need to use the bathroom break at this point, this would be the opportunity to do so. We'll be in, we'll take a 5-minute break. Hopefully the jurors will be ready at that point. You can step down if you need to.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, just a normal break. Let's pick it up.
Gotcha. Ms. Fulford, you may continue with your cross-examination.
Thank you. I have just a bunch of oddball questions at this point. Do you recall getting emails from your mother
Yes.
and your father?
Well, yes, from both,
And-
from the same email.
And I think you had a necklace at some point during that time period that said, never, never, never give up.
I did.
And your parents would sometimes put that in the emails back to you, correct?
Yes.
I need to know if you recall this. Your parents, you had mentioned when they went out of the country, you used the WhatsApp to communicate with them because it was free of charge.
Yes.
And you could call them free of
Yeah.
charge?
Yes.
And you could message with them free of charge?
Both. Yes.
And when your parents would go out of town, do you recall that they had a routine where your mother would take her phone, but your father would not get the plan to travel with? Do you recall that?
That sounds right.
Okay. And wasn't that because if you called the Adelson Institute and you got the answering machine, it was an old-fashioned answering machine, right?
Yes.
And what it gave out if you reached the answering machine was your father's cell phone number.
Yes.
So he didn't want to
Yes.
be contacted when he was out of town, and that's what people would get, right?
Yes.
The birthday party that's been mentioned for your dad, it was his 70th birthday.
It was.
And although I don't think it ended up being a surprise, your mom was trying to plan a party for him where he knew his children and grandchildren would be there, but she was trying to surprise him with the friends.
That's right.
And you might have helped her with some of those preparations.
I think so.
And she planned it for several months, right?
Yes.
And I think one of the things that you got involved with was a caterer that was going to be used to cook paella. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it at the party.
It's pronounced paella. I remember on the night of, I speak Spanish, so I spoke with him in Spanish because I don't think he spoke much English.
And mommy, your mother didn't speak Spanish, right?
No.
Okay. You weren't actually making the order and buying it, correct?
No, I didn't pay for anything.
May I approach, Your Honor? I'm sorry, it's still Adelson, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Adelson, I'm going to approach and show you what's been marked just for identification purposes as defense 49J, and ask you to look at that and tell me if you've ever seen that before.
I have seen this before.
Okay, and that's an email that your father sent to you regarding the appointment that he had made for the TV to be repaired, correct?
Correct.
And on the front page, you can see where he's forwarding it to you, and it says, "Love, Dad," right?
Yes.
And then he tells you when the appointment's going to be, Friday the 18th between 8 and 12, right?
Yes.
And then when you flip, well, now stay on the first page. Do you see down almost 2/3 of the way down where it has the order information and the order creation date?
Yes.
And that date was what?
The order creation date is July 11th, 2014.
And on the next page, where the problem description is, it says that Harvey called in, stated that the 55-inch TV screen had some problems, right?
Yes.
Go to the next page. It repeats about the complaint that your father had about what was wrong with the TV, right?
Yes.
If you scroll down, there's some questions under date submitted, right?
Yes.
Whether the TV is wall mounted,
Yes.
what the size of the TV is,
Yes.
if it's mounted over 6 feet high,
Yes.
if the height of the ceiling,
Yes.
is it eligible for a loaner?
Yes.
Was it installed by the Geek Squad?
Yes.
Is the product that we're going to service any place of business?
So I'm saying yes that I see these questions, but the answer to that question is no.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I was going to point out. So
Okay.
your dad said no to that one,
Right.
right? Is the product that we are going to service in a place of business? And your dad answered no, correct?
He answered no.
And the next one says what?
Would you be willing to accept a sooner appointment if one became available? And the answer to that one is yes.
Thank you. May I approach? Ms. Adelson, you testified on direct when asked some questions about the name change of your children. You recall those questions?
Yes.
Okay. And I think your testimony was that you officially changed your children's last names a year and a half. What did you say?
I legally changed them a year after Danny's death.
Okay. But after he passed away and you went to Miami, it was time for your oldest child to be enrolled in kindergarten, right?
Yes.
And so what were the ages of the children when Danny was murdered?
They were almost 5 and 3.5.
And so the 5-year-old was going into kindergarten.
Yes.
And where was the other child going to be? Was he being put in a preschool program?
It was a preschool program.
Okay. And so you went and registered them at the school, correct?
Yes.
And the official registration said Markel for the children's last names, correct?
I believe so.
But because you were going to socially refer to them as Adelson, that's what you asked the school to do as well, right?
Yes.
And so when you went into orientation for the oldest child, I'm trying not to say the name, when you went into orientation for the oldest child for kindergarten, and they had his little nameplate there where he was going to sit at his desk, it said last name Adelson, right?
I honestly don't remember him having a last name. I remember his first name being there, but I don't remember. I thought they put the first names for the kindergartners.
But you asked the school to refer to him by the last name Adelson.
I did.
And so there was an exhibit that was shown to you where your mother had registered him for an after-school flag football, right?
Right.
And so because the school's knowing his name, that he's being referred to as Adelson, that's why she did that, correct?
Correct.
And the youngest one, where was he going to go? Or where did he go?
He was at a preschool, a private preschool, because he was too young to go to the preschool at the public elementary school.
Okay. And whether it was your mother or your
Yeah, this is they are erasing Dan Markell almost immediately after the murder, removing his name. Now they claim, oh, this makes things easier. Bullshit. You erased their father in every, physically and mentally.
father who wrote the email about signing up and grandpa's coming with him to, I'm sorry, I'm not Jewish. I didn't understand what that was.
It's okay. Tot Shabbat would have been, like a Sabbath activity where the grandparents would come and sing songs and something like that.
And so the younger one's also being known as last name Adelson.
Yes.
Okay. Because socially, that's what you wanted them to go forward with.
I thought it would make them safer.
Okay. There was some questions of you on direct about potentially purchasing a home after the divorce was final in 2013. You recall those questions?
I do.
And it was suggested that Charlie convinced you not to do that, right?
That was what was suggested.
But in fact, the reason I think you stated was because you hadn't gotten your settlement yet from Mr. Markell.
Right. I didn't have the money to purchase a home.
And so even though you had been interested in it, you had to notify your realtor that
it wasn't possible at that time.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it was. Because even though the kids are the beneficiary of Dan's estate, guess who controls it?
and in the emails that the state introduced and discussed with you, where your mother is making lots of suggestions, mostly after relocation was denied, of things that you could do, like tell Danny you're going to raise them as Catholics, you're going to have them baptized as Catholics. All of those suggestions she was making, correct?
Yes.
She wasn't actually suggesting you do it. She was wanting you to use that as a means of negotiating with Danny, right?
That's my understanding.
That if he thought maybe you were going to do these things, he would reconsider the issue of relocation, correct?
Correct.
Testified that your mother hated Danny at the time that he was killed. Do you remember saying that?
I believe I said that.
But the week before he died, your mother was babysitting for Danny, wasn't she?
Yes.
And nothing but pleasantries between the two of them.
That's right.
And in fact, she actually made him banana bread specifically the way he liked it, right?
It was his favorite.
Without nuts, but with chocolate chips.
That's right.
But you think she hated him?
I think she was mad at him.
Mad at him. There's a difference between being mad at someone and hating them, isn't there?
There is.
Did he
I think you
eat
testified
the
that,
banana bread?
and there may have been an email that suggested it, that you would have never left Danny if not for your mom and maybe brother's suggestions. Did you say that?
I don't think that was exactly right. I think it was, I probably wouldn't have left, kind of suggesting that maybe I would have wanted to, but wouldn't have had the strength or wherewithal to leave on my own.
Okay. Isn't it true that each year, maybe not every year, but many years, yourself and Danny would, when you finished the school session here at FSU College of Law, you would go down to Coral Springs or Miami, whichever they were at, and you would spend almost 2 weeks with your parents, right?
Yes.
And that would be yourself and Danny when it was just you, right?
Yes.
And then after you had the children, all of you went down there, correct?
Yes.
Well, in fact, what really happened was in the summer of 2012, when you decided that you were going to leave Danny, Danny was down there with you, correct?
Yes.
And the children were there too?
Yes.
And they were young. How old were they?
In 2000,
Sometimes men do things just to keep it civil. This does nothing to say, oh, they were getting along well. I would assume Dan was spending as little time as humanly possible. But he made the sacrifice because kids need their grandparents.
12.
And by the way, remember, that was not after Dan's murder. His parents had to fight tooth and nail to even get a call with their grandchildren, because the Adelsons did everything in their power to erase them too from the kid's life.
They would have been 2 and 3.
Okay. And you, Danny was there, and you actually asked your mom if she'd go out to coffee with you. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
And you told her then that you were going to leave Danny and get a divorce, didn't you?
That sounds right, but I don't remember that.
Okay. And in fact, she suggested counseling to you, and you told her you guys had already been in counseling and it didn't work. Isn't that right?
We had been in counseling and it hadn't worked, but again, it sounds like something that could have happened, but I just don't remember the coffee.
There was also questions of you, several questions about your interview with law enforcement the day that Danny was shot. You recall those questions from the state?
I do recall the questions.
And they were pointing out things that you had said about your family, your parents, Charlie. Remember those questions?
I do.
Isn't it true that when you were interviewed by law enforcement, what you said initially was that Danny's parents were going to think that you're the one who did it, right?
I did say that.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about the relocation a little bit. So you have a relocation hearing on June the 18th. Does that sound right?
2013?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. And leading up to that hearing, you notified your mother by email that because she was going to be testifying in court, she would need to wait outside that hearing, correct?
I don't remember that, but that if she was supposed to be a witness, then she couldn't be present for the hearing.
May I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to show you, oh my goodness, I can't read that. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes, Defense Exhibit 49B. You could just read that for me, please, to yourself.
Do you want me to read to the end?
No, ma'am, I'm just looking for where you told your mother, get you to agree that you said to her, because you are testifying in court, Mom, you won't be able to sit in on the hearing with me. Is that what you said?
Yes, but I can have Dad there. Yeah.
Let me get it from you.
Okay.
Sometime in April of 2013, so that would be not long before your divorce was final, you took a trip. I don't know if you were speaking there or someone else was, but you took a trip out of town with a gentleman named Miguel. Do you recall that?
I don't recall the trip, but I was seeing Miguel at the time.
You do recall the trip?
Well, I was seeing Miguel at the time, but I don't know what the trip was in April of 2013. I don't remember that. Can you tell me where we went?
Yes, ma'am. Let me get that.
Okay.
Puerto Rico. Does that sound familiar?
It was a clinical law professor conference. There's one every year, and that year it was in Puerto Rico.
Okay. And did you speak at that, or you were there to get credit hours or something?
No, I spoke.
Yeah, put your honor. I'm going to now show you what's been marked for identification purposes as Defendant's Exhibit 1E. And it's dated April the 28th of 2013 and addressed dear Renee. You don't need to read it all, but would you familiarize yourself with your communication there, please? I'll point out any sections that I wanted to discuss with you. Would you agree that you wrote this on April the 28th of 2013?
Yes, it looks like I dated it.
Okay, and that's to Renee.
Yes,
And you're coming back from your trip to Puerto Rico.
yes,
And while you were on this trip, your parents were taking care of the boys, correct?
yes.
And on the first page, down towards the bottom, you have some bullet points about what you would like to do to resolve your divorce, correct?
Well, I think it was not just about my divorce. It was kind of about how I wanted to be living my life overall.
Yeah, I was trying not to get into the personal information, but that's right. This entire email is really about changes you want to make in your life, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the last bullet point down at the bottom, it says, I've been coming to a place in the last few months where I have realized that I want to keep my job. It allows me the maximum amount of flexibility to spend with my kids while allowing the freedom for intellectual exploration, one-on-one mentoring with students, and meaningful work in the community. I don't care that Gibbers told my colleagues that I stole from him and that I am mentally ill. Nasty things are said in divorce, and people know that, right?
Yes.
Tallahassee isn't ever where I wanted to live, but it's where the job is. And it's where my boy's father is, which means they don't have to constantly be flying on planes or driving in cars to accomplish our custody situation, right?
Yes.
So you have the pending petition and motion for relocation, but as of April the 28th, you're starting to think maybe staying in Tallahassee is the right thing to do, correct?
Yes.
And then this goes on. Third page is, now you're writing on May the 2nd of 2013, correct?
Yes.
A little different subject, but if you go to the next to the last page of that exhibit, see where it starts, wait, it's me again?
Yes.
Okay. The paragraph after that, I wanted to ask you about this. It says, on Sunday morning, we're supposed to sit on the same stage. You're referring to Mr. Markell, correct?
Yes.
In full regalia and clap for the graduating law students. I love graduation, and the Gibbs has never attended because it's normally on a Saturday morning and he is at synagogue, correct?
Yes.
And then you say it's on Sunday this year and I have the boys and the dean wants all faculty to attend. So I need to, it's only 2 hours and my mom can watch the boys during that time, correct?
Yes.
So it was fairly routine then for you to get your mother or both parents' assistance when you had somewhere that you needed to be and someone needed to take care of the children, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a good question here. From Brooklyn. She played dumb the whole day. Can't wait till the boys grow up and find out what happened. But they are 14 and 15 now. I guess they are aware. But they are still under the influence of their mother and probably up until a year and a half ago, their grandmother. They might be brainwashed into thinking the government is out to get your family or something of the sort. Why do I say that? Well, because these fuckers are extremely manipulative. Extremely. And there's nothing that says they stopped with erasing Dan Markell, the Markell name. They probably done this for years and years and years. And it's hard to break a cycle like that.
Sorry, Judge, I have so many papers up here. I'm confused.
All right. Redirect. After all this, oh, your mother is so good. She's a saint. Let's see what happens now.
May I approach? I'm going to exchange with you, Ms. Adelson. I'll take that one back and then show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1G for identification purposes. Could you review that to yourself, please? To Renee or not?
Okay.
I'm not sure if this was to Renee or not. Yeah, you mentioned Renee. So this is on June the 4th of 2013, correct?
Yes.
And we're approaching the hearing date on the relocation motion, which is set for June the 18th, right?
Yes.
And in here, you're expressing some concerns over what you've been through in the divorce. But you said, and I think the state referred to this, that Mr. Markell had sent you a long message about how you could be doing all of the divorce stuff so differently in the spirit of love and joy, where we get together and talk about our vision for the boys and for our future. And I won't say what you said after that, but at this point, you're kind of agreeing with him. You want to do it peacefully, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you talk about the one alternative is you could call Gary. Now, Gary is the gentleman who was kind of offering you a position in Miami, right?
Gary was a partner at the law firm where a position was offered to me.
Okay. And your plan was to have him come and testify at the relocation hearing about the job that he would be giving you if you relocated there, correct?
Yes.
And you had other people who were going to testify there as well on your behalf, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so you say one alternative is you call Gary and say, I've changed my mind. I don't think it's best for my kids to move them to South Florida. I appreciate you saving the job for me, but I'm not going to come to South Florida, correct?
Yes.
And then you say, you call your brother and say, I love you, Charlie, but I'm going to stay in Tallahassee. I know you don't agree with my decision, but that's what's best for me and the kids right now. I hope one day you'll understand. That was something else you're considering, correct?
Right.
And then call your parents and say basically the same thing. And if they wanted to come up anytime and visit you and the boys in Tallahassee, they were free to do so, right?
Yes.
That's like they've always been doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you think if you take relocation off the table, that it will give you an opportunity to discuss things with Mr. Markell and hopefully work them out, right?
Yes.
On the next page, you talk about what the alternative vision is, and that's what you currently have planned, which is to have Gary fly up to testify at the hearing, right?
Yes.
Your mom would testify, right?
Yes.
They would fly up and spend days with you, correct?
Yes.
You expected at that time the hearing would last 1 to 2 days, right?
Yes.
And you were concerned that you would go through all of that, spending more money, being more stressed. And then you say, for the chance to save face with my family and to be given an opportunity I don't actually want, to live with them in South Florida. That's what you said, right?
Well, I say an opportunity I don't actually want with all of my heart, but maybe part of it
Okay.
to live with them in South Florida.
All right. And then you say, so I am willing to put myself through all of this just to keep up appearances with my parents and brother that I want to be living down in South Florida or down south with them, even though I don't want to. That's what you said, right?
I say, even
Oh,
though I
it's
don't want
not,
to give up my
redirect.
current flexible job
Sorry.
where I get to spend maximum time with my kids so I can be with them.
Okay. And that was June the 4th of 2013, right?
Yes.
So now the defense is shifting gear.
And what you end up choosing was the second alternative, correct?
I went through with the hearing.
Okay. And I think, let me find it. May I approach, Your Honor? I'm going to share you what's already been introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 60. Let's see if I can figure out their lettering system. That would be Y. I'll take this and let you take this book. Okay. And if you would review that pleading, or this order, please.
Okay.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes,
So you went into this hearing and Gary ended up coming, correct?
he did.
And he testified, right?
Yes.
And you gave some testimony, correct?
Yes.
And what happened was the judge kind of called a timeout, right?
I don't remember a timeout.
At some point, she wanted to speak to counsel. Is that right?
I'm sorry. I don't remember that part of her speaking to counsel.
Do you remember the judge making some comments about the children hadn't been harmed and since he hadn't pulled out their toenails?
I do remember the toenail comment. Yes.
So she wasn't leaning towards relocation, correct?
No.
Okay. So even though you had other witnesses, you didn't proceed with the hearing, right?
Well, I think we had the hearing and the judge decided.
You didn't call all your witnesses, did you?
I don't remember.
If you look at the
How
order,
do you not remember that?
it says order on wife's petition to relocate with the minor children. And then it says what the court orders and it judges. The court does not find that the wife has met her burden of proof that a relocation is in the best interest of the minor children. You see that?
Yes, number one.
Yes. And your mother actually stayed outside for the testimony of that hearing with your dad, correct?
I don't remember, but I remember asking her to stay outside if she was going to testify.
Okay. And you came outside at some point and told your parents that relocation was denied, correct?
Correct.
And it's after this hearing, when relocation is denied, that those truly ugly emails that your mother wrote were written by her, correct?
Yes.
May I approach? Actually, if you keep that for a second. once the final judgment was entered, the issue of relocation was over, right?
Yes,
Relocation from July 31st of 2013 until the time that Mr. Markell was murdered was never an issue again, was it?
it was never an issue from the day it was decided on July 31st, 2013. That's when it ended.
Certainly after the final judgment, correct?
Yes,
And that's the end of the discussion about relocation, right?
yes,
No more plans about how to get relocation. The issue's decided, correct?
it was decided.
Ms. Adelson, if you look at that order that's entered by the court, besides saying it's denied, it says something pretty important, and I think the state pointed this out in its opening. It says that this denial is with prejudice
Yes, ma'am.
of the wife's petition for request to relocate with the minor children. And you're a lawyer, so you know that with prejudice means this is done. This topic in this divorce is over.
Yes, with prejudice means it's a final decision of the court.
But what it says right before that is, as such, the parties stipulate to denial with prejudice of the wife's petition. You see that?
Yes, I do.
So what happened is after the judge says, if their toenails haven't been pulled out, I'm not thinking relocation, you actually stipulated to denial with prejudice, right?
Yes,
You did not tell your parents that you stipulated to denial with prejudice, did you?
I don't remember any conversation there really.
So not knowing that it was denied with prejudice, your mother thought you still had an opportunity to get it up through your final hearing, right?
I believe so.
And so she kept writing these ugly things and giving you all of these ugly suggestions, right?
She did write those emails.
If you had told her you stipulated with prejudice, that's probably not what you wanted, Mom, but that would have been the end of it, right?
I don't know. I would just be guessing.
May I approach?
Uh-oh. Did you lie to your mother about relocating the kids? Did you secretly not want to go down to Miami because you knew that your mother was a bitch? How about that?
Well, if you'd just be guessing, after she thought it was finally over on July the 31st, there were no more emails suggesting you do things like she suggested between the hearing date on June the 20th and the final hearing on July the 31st, did she?
Can you help me? What is the question?
So sure. So your mother doesn't know when you get out of the hearing on June the 20th that you've stipulated that this is a forever decision. So she writes these ugly emails, right?
She may not have understood that it was a final decision of the court.
It was a decision of the court because you stipulated to it, Ms. Adelson, didn't you?
I did stipulate to
And
it.
she didn't know it. She thought you had up until the final hearing. So she's marching along trying to come up with more suggestions of how you can pressure Danny and get him to agree for you to relocate, even though you know it's dead, right?
I knew that it was a final decision.
And after July the 31st, when she thought it was a final decision, she wrote no more emails suggesting you do these crazy things to still try and get relocation, did she?
I don't remember the dates of the email, but
And you
I'm guessing
testified
no.
when you got up, when the state was asking you questions, after you said your mother hated Danny at the time that he was killed, which you've clarified now that she was mad at him, not that she hated him. You testified you hated him at the time he was killed, right?
I don't remember testifying to that.
Well, then we'll need to take a break, Judge. Maybe we approach.
Questions for the witness?
I do. Maybe we approach.
Please approach.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Sidebar counter 7. She was so nice the entire cross-examination, and all of a sudden she turned it up a notch. How about that? Oh, jury's out. Is it only a break? Cracking his knuckles.
Ms. Fulford, I have in my notes some references too, but yeah. Mr. Zeldman, Ms. Fulford, as to this issue, are you seeking for the court reporter to review something, or do you wish for me to instruct the jurors to rely on their memories?
We have an alternative resolution. Can we just have one more, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah, they want to find where Wendy actually testified that she hated Dan. Skipping.
We're going to take a 10-minute break at 3:40. We will resume after the jurors have used the restroom and everyone is ready. Mrs. Adelson, if you need to use the restroom, this is your the witness stand.
And
Are the
skip.
jurors ready at this point? Yes, you can be seated.
And sidebar. Sidebar number 8. I mean, that's 4 a day, but I mean, it still feels less than in the YSL trial, probably because they had so many arguments before the jury without sidebar, and they still had 450 sidebars over the course of that trial. So skip ahead, skip ahead.
Continue with your cross-examination, Ms. Fulford.
Thank you, Judge. Adelson, isn't it true that before getting married to Mr. Markell in 2006,
2006, we got married.
isn't it true that you've stated that you knew on your fancy wedding day, when you were all dolled up and feeling like you were an actor in someone else's show, you knew it on your honeymoon when you were enjoying the vacation but not thrilled to be there with him? You said, "I'm not sure I liked him, let alone loved him, but I was eager to start a life with someone and he wanted to do it with me." You recall saying that?
I don't recall saying that, no.
I have placed in front of you what's been previously marked as Defendant's Exhibit 1B for identification.
So Dan Markell was searching for somebody to spend the rest of his life with, somebody who he can start a family, grow old with. And for Wendy, it was just, well, good enough. Jesus Christ.
Purposes. It's towards the bottom of page 3. Your little boys agree that when Danny Markell was murdered on June the 18th of 2014, your little boys lost their father for the rest of their life.
On the day that he was murdered was July 18th, and yes, my boys lost their father.
They are growing up as 11 years have passed without his influence in their life in any way. Isn't that correct?
I wouldn't say without his influence in any way, but yes, they've grown up without their father.
He's not here to give them advice.
He is not.
He can't come to any of their functions, sports, anything else.
Correct.
They're not eating kosher like they would have with their father.
They are not.
They don't have him at all.
They don't have him in their lives day to day, no.
Because on July the 18th of 2014, he was brutally murdered in his driveway. Isn't that true?
That is true.
And you testified on direct that anybody in your family that had anything to do with it should be held responsible. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
And that includes you, doesn't it?
Anyone who's responsible.
That's how you end a cross-examination. Because Wendy did say that. Everybody who was responsible should be held accountable. Now, that might not be as good for their client, but it does implicate every single one except Rob in the Adelson family. All right.
You said you were an actor in someone else's show. Whose show was it?
I think I felt like I just wasn't fully present in my own life, that I had always been a real people pleaser. And so there was an aspect of not always being true to myself and wanting to make other people happy.
And one of those people is your mom, right?
Yes,
And that's part of why you kept going with relocation, even when you kind of had some doubts about it, right?
I would say it's part of the reason.
You were asked on cross-examination about the final order on relocation issued June 20th, 2013. And didn't you stipulate to making it with prejudice, I guess? Do you remember doing that?
I don't actually remember stipulating. I mean, I see it in the order, but I don't remember actively saying anything or participating in a stipulation.
In fact, when you testified about this previously, didn't you indicate you didn't know what with prejudice meant?
I think it's not something that comes up in my daily practice. And so at the time I had forgotten that it meant that it was a final order.
All right.
Seriously? A practicing attorney, even in immigration law, you know what prejudice is in a legal setting. And yet, you conveniently forgot in a prior hearing what prejudice meant. No wonder you can't get a fucking jobs anywhere.
And it was suggested or said on cross that you didn't tell your mom it was final and she was misled and she thought there was still room for it, right?
That is what was said to me on cross.
I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as 64JJ.
want to review this exhibit. Not the only one.
Okay.
Do you recognize that email?
I mean, I recognize the email address. Is that what you mean?
Yes. ma'am.
Yes.
The email from.
The email is from my mom and dad's email address to a friend of theirs.
Who's the friend?
The Klegermans. I think it's Vicky, the woman in the relationship.
Okay, and it's signed Love Donna, right?
Yes, sorry. So it's from my mom.
And in this email, does she indicate to the Klingermans that there is no chance at the appellate level for appeal of your relocation?
Yes, that's what the email says.
All right, and is that email dated 6/25 of 13?
Yes,
So 5 days after the order was issued, your mom did know that that order was final, based
That's-
on this.
based on that email, yes.
Okay, it was, you were asked questions about, your mom never suggested any harm to Dan Markell to you, but she did want to bribe him, yes?
Yes,
Take control from him, weren't those her words?
yes,
Aggravate him,
yes.
scare him,
I don't remember scare him, but I believe that was part of it.
give him some grief,
Yes,
take something from him,
yes,
show that fucker what would make him absolutely miserable,
yes.
but definitely not kill him, right?
I don't know what the question is.
Donna was caring and devoted to your boys. You were asked about that. That's true, right?
Yes,
In fact, she maybe cared a little too much about your life and you and what was going on with you sometimes, right?
I don't know that you can care too much.
Even the Nazi uniform craziness came from her version of some kind of place of love. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Because although her lawyers tried to downplay this, she was suggesting a baptism for these kids, right?
yes.
She said she looked into it and could get it done in 2 weeks, right?
I believe that's what it said.
And didn't she justify the means or claim that this would be harmless to your children because it was just like playing dress up to them, right?
Yes,
Just like Jake the Pirates.
yes,
She thought the ends, relocation, would justify the means, didn't she?
yes,
And she thought a move to South Florida was what was best for you
yes,
and what was best for your children,
yes.
who she cared about more than anyone in the world.
I mean, I don't know who she cared about most in the world, but she
Is
loves
there,
me
is
and
there anyone that she cares about more than those two boys?
my dad.
Okay. She thought relocation was best for those boys. They were
Yes.
going to have better opportunities, right?
Yes,
Better family support,
yes,
a happier mother
yes,
with a more lucrative profession.
yes,
And your lives all depended on it. Isn't that what she said?
yes.
Dan Markell could have agreed, couldn't he?
He was amenable, but then he didn't want to
Well,
ultimately.
he could have moved to South Florida, right? Isn't that what you were asked on cross?
Yes, he could have.
Could have moved to South Florida and enjoyed all that delicious kosher food down there, right?
Yes,
And if he had relented, you and he could have had separate lives in Miami and happily co-parented the boys, right?
in
That could
theory,
have happened.
yes, it could have.
Except he wouldn't relent, would he?
I mean, he said no, and so we had a hearing, and the judge said no.
Right? He wouldn't relent. He wouldn't give your mom what she wanted, would he?
I mean, we only had one conversation about it, so it wasn't like a ongoing thing.
It wasn't an ongoing thing. What wasn't?
I mean, between Danny and I, we talked about relocation. He said he would think about it, and then he said he didn't want to, and then we had the hearing, and then that was the end of it for me.
Yes, but you were asked on cross, wouldn't things have been potentially great for Danny down there too?
Yes, I think they would have,
Couldn't we all have lived happily ever after if he would have agreed to move down there too? Possibly, right?
possibly.
But he wouldn't agree.
He didn't agree. No.
Nothing further.
Mr. Chair, before we continue this afternoon, we'll take a brief break. The bailiff will take you back to the jury room.
And in the redirect. Yeah. Very good points. Despite everything Donna and Wendy did, he wouldn't relent.
Yes,
Remember, he even filed a motion that was pending at the moment of his murder that Donna should only have supervised visitations with the children. Did he know about the suggestions that Donna wanted to dress up the boys as Nazis? That she wanted them to convert to Catholicism? Why would he trust this wretched bitch in anything?
Very well. With there being no need for a proffer from this witness, you may step down. Ms. Kappelman, will you be recalling her at any point under your subpoena?
I don't intend to, Judge, but I would ask that she remain under the bill at this time.
Very
Just so we
well.
know about her business.
You are not to discuss your testimony with any other person who will be testifying in this trial. Mr. Walrow, will you need to be heard any further, sir? Have a good day.
That was the end
State's
of
next witness will be
Wendy
this afternoon.
Adelson's testimony.
All right, you can bring the jurors back in.
And Judge, I think, did you want to instruct him?
Oh, yes.
Then
Yes,
ask
yes,
her?
yes,
Okay, so can I go ahead and call him in?
One moment, don't bring the jurors in just yet. You can bring Mr. Adelson. Everyone can see it. Afternoon. I just wanted to make sure the court's prior ruling on this matter you understood and you were clear on. When you're testifying, you are not to testify about any opinions that you have concerning whether your family members or your mother may have committed a crime. You understand this?
Yes.
Does the defense or state wish for there to be any further instruction from the court that does not otherwise cover the substance of the ruling?
Yes, sir.
Please bring the jurors.
Folks, this is Robert Adelson.
For everyone
It's
in the gallery,
strange
again, as you are watching the
who-
evidence and testimony, please remain quiet. If you need to speak with each other, please do so silently or step out in the hallway. There should not be any murmuring happening whatsoever as the witnesses are testifying. Please bring them in.
He got away from the family and he got some stories to tell.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I swear.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly. You can adjust the microphone as needed.
Yeah, put on your
Student,
seatbelts.
Thank you. Could you tell us your name and spell your name for our court reporter, please?
Sure. Robert Todd Adelson, Adelson,
Thank you. And what state do you currently live in?
New York.
And how long have you lived in New York?
13 years.
Okay, so since maybe 2012?
Yes.
All right. What do you do for a living in New York?
I'm an ENT
Okay, so you're a nose and throat doctor?
Yes.
And how long have you worked as an ENT?
for 20 years.
How do you know the defendant in this case, Donna Adelson?
She's my mother.
And Harvey Adelson's your dad?
Yes.
Wendy and Charlie Adelson are your siblings?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
In Coral Springs, Florida.
Is that a bit north of Miami?
Yep.
About how long of a drive?
About an hour north of Miami.
Okay. When y'all were growing up, did you all, the five of you, live in the same house as a family?
Yes.
And who's the oldest child?
I am.
Okay. Who's the middle child?
Charlie.
How many years between you and Charlie?
3 years between Charlie and I.
And then who's the youngest then is Wendy?
Yes.
And how many years between Charlie and Wendy?
3 years.
When you were 18, did you move out of the Coral Springs house?
Yes, when I went to college.
Okay. And did you go to college at University of Florida?
I went to Tulane.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Did you live in Gainesville at some point?
I did, yes.
Okay, thank you. So after you went to college at Tulane and then went on to med school, went on to residency, throughout those years, did you continue to talk to your parents and your siblings on a regular basis?
Yes.
And would you see them a couple of times a year?
Yes.
When you were in school, would you go home for the summer?
Yes.
Based on your personal observations throughout your life of your parents and of your siblings, who is the leader in the family? Who tends to run the show?
I think my mom.
Okay, so Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Would you describe Donna Adelson's personality as being more controlling or more laid back?
I think more on the controlling side.
What about, is she kind of a more assertive person or a more passive person?
More assertive.
What about your dad, Harvey Adelson? What's his personality like?
I think he's more passive, more go with the flow.
Okay. So they're kind of opposites in that way a bit?
Yeah.
When you and your siblings were growing up, was Donna Adelson a very involved parent?
Yes.
And when I say involved, as far as with your life and with your friends and with school and that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Did she have certain fixed ideas throughout your life of certain things she wanted to happen in you and your siblings' life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was it acceptable if you decided to not do those certain things that she was fixated she wanted you to do? Was that acceptable to her or no?
No, I think she had certain sort of rigid, fixed ideas or impressions for what she wanted for us. And if you went along with that, things were fine. If you didn't, things were not fine.
Did she have strong opinions about who you all married and what you all did for a living and those types of things?
Yes.
And you're obviously a doctor. Was that an acceptable profession to
Yes.
her?
Yeah, that was okay.
Okay. And was that one of the reasons you became a doctor?
Yes.
How involved was Donna in yours, Charlie, and Wendy Adelson's life after you grew up, became adults, and had kids of your own?
I think still involved.
Was she more involved with your life, Charlie's life, or Wendy's life, would you say?
You're probably more involved with Wendy and probably to a lesser degree with Charlie.
Okay. And then would you be she's the least involved with your life out of the three?
Yeah, probably because I was older, but sure, I agree.
Okay. So you're the oldest child. You're out of the house before the other two?
Yep.
Okay. And then you also lived other places after you went to college throughout the rest of your life?
Yes.
Now, was this like a healthy level of involvement that she had with the three of your lives, or was it more of like a micromanaging as you saw it?
I think it was certainly between over-involved and controlling. It probably lended itself more toward controlling, but there's, in various realms, more or less. But I think certainly that was the tension.
Okay, so a little more on the controlling side.
Yes.
And does that include your personal lives as far as your relationships and in your professions, your jobs?
Yes.
Was it Charlie who always needed more attention than the other two children?
I think so. Yes.
When did Wendy's life start becoming one that she needed to pay or give more attention to?
I think when she had some troubles in her marriage, I wasn't aware there were any troubles in her marriage until Wendy left. But I think around that time when she had two young children, I think that was when she became more involved. And I was, at that point living, pretty good distance away.
Okay. Were you living in Philadelphia at the time?
Yeah, but first in Philly and then in New York where we live now.
Okay. And so Charlie always got a lot of attention, and then Donna also started giving her attention also to Wendy's life once Wendy starts going through the separation or divorce.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. From your interactions with Donna Adelson through your whole life growing up and even as an adult, would you describe her as someone who's mentally sharp, thinking about things from all angles, or is she someone who's a little more gullible? Yes, sir.
Oh, sidebar. By now, the defense knows the tactics. So they are trying to break the flow. Because I don't see it was any problem with that question. It was just a break of flow. Sidebar number 9. Oh, that's a stare. Donna does not like that Rob is up there. Skipping ahead. Skipping.
Objection is sustained. You may continue with your examination.
Okay.
Were Charlie and Donna Adelson dependent on each other or pretty independent from each other?
I would say Charlie was probably somewhat dependent on my mom to help him out with organizing stuff, his dental practice. I think he probably relied on her a lot.
Okay. And you mentioned the dental practice. When you were growing up, who owned the dental practice?
My dad.
Okay. And throughout your life, was Donna Adelson in charge of the money at Adelson Institute?
I was, I wouldn't know the inside workings of it, but I always remember my mom signing the checks and writing the checkbook at the table, when I was back in middle school or high school. So.
Okay. So even back then, she would do some bookkeeping or payroll type things at home.
That's my memory of it.
Okay. And then did the dental practice, you said it obviously started out at Harvey's. Do you remember a time when Charlie Adelson took over?
I remember my dad making a joke about him having a very understanding boss because Charlie was now his boss. So.
Do not testify to what others have stated out of court. You may testify as to your knowledge, but not what someone else specifically said. The objection is sustained. You may continue.
I understand you were telling us how you remember that, but can you just tell us around what year do you remember that happening?
Around 2012, Charlie purchased the practice.
Okay. And then was there a time that you remember Charlie somehow selling it back to Harvey? Harvey Adelson is then becoming the head of the practice again.
Permit you to answer the question if you have knowledge of this matter.
My memory of that was sometime in fall to winter of 2015 to 16, somewhere around there. That's my memory.
Okay, so fall to winter of 2015.
Turning into 2016. That's my memory.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Donna Adelson doing payroll at Adelson Institute throughout your life. If someone were to ask Donna Adelson, or if someone asked Donna Adelson to do something, is she the type of person that just snaps to it, or does she have some questions first?
You may answer the question.
No, I don't think she would just snap to and do what someone told her to.
Okay. Is she the type of person who's going to have some questions if you ask her to do
Yes,
something?
I think she would definitely have some questions.
Okay. How did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markell when he and Wendy first got together and were headed towards marriage?
He was very positive about him.
Okay. So he was somebody she approved of?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
And how did that change as Wendy and Danny's relationship soured? They ended up moving towards divorce.
So I really only heard anything bad about Danny after Wendy moved out. I didn't hear anything bad about him prior to that date.
Okay. So just kind of went from everything's fine to then hearing bad things about him.
Yes.
And when you say hearing bad things about him, like from her? From Donna Adelson? I'm
yes.
Sorry? Okay. And how did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markell in 2014?
She hated him.
Would this come from your knowledge of that? Come from things that she would say to you?
Yes.
Did you observe that Wendy played a bit of a damsel in distress, in your opinion, in the divorce?
Yes, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Did Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel's divorce?
I apologize. Did Donna Adelson? I apologize. Can you hear the
I'm sorry,
question
did
again?
Donna Adelson ever talk to you about Wendy and Dan Markel's divorce?
Some. I mean, the phrase that sticks in my head is that Danny was depoing Wendy to death. I wasn't involved with all the various motions. I remember that phrase. I remember there being a lot of court motions back and forth. But I remember that phrase. I remember some complaints about like very long either mediation or depositions that Wendy had to endure.
Okay, so this is Donna saying Wendy's having to go through these things.
Yes.
Okay, and just telling you about it.
Yes.
How did Donna tell you that, or did she tell you that how Wendy was planning to leave Dan Markel and give him the news that she was leaving the marriage?
I think you're going to need to rephrase this in such a way the witness can answer, Mr.
Sure.
Duggan.
How did Donna Adelson describe to you how Wendy Adelson left the marriage?
Mr. Duggan, please approach.
Yeah, that's clear hearsay, in my opinion. She knows how to ask this question better. This is a normal prosecution's tactic. Ask the question wrong, then ask the questions correct, because then you have the repetitive infuse in the jury's mind. Oh, this is important. I really don't like that practice, especially if you know how to ask a proper question. Sidebar counter 10. Yeah, the defense knows that Rob's testimony is very damning and will maybe not just yet, but it will be.
The plan for Wendy. What did Donna Adelson tell you about the plan for Wendy Adelson to leave the marriage?
Sure. When she told me that that she had been in Tallahassee for several months.
This is Donna Adelson.
Yes, that she had been in Tallahassee for several months, renting a new place for Wendy, arranging for movers, moving money around and getting things set up. I only knew this after Wendy had moved out, but she was relating to me what had occurred over the summer. And so I heard this all at once, but probably 5-6 days after Wendy had moved out, and then told me that somewhat gleefully or pleased that they timed the phone call to Danny right before he was supposed to give a speech at the meeting he was at.
Okay, so a couple questions about that. You said Donna said that she had been up here in Tallahassee moving money around and getting things ready for Wendy. Do you mean for when Wendy moved out and needed a place of her own?
Yes.
Okay, and what did Donna tell you that she did to try to, hide the fact that they were renting a place for Wendy?
I remember her saying she had used her maiden name, so there wouldn't be an Adelson up here renting, or hiring movers or such.
Just so like word of mouth wouldn't get around that Wendy Adelson was renting an apartment, something like that.
Sure.
Okay. So they used Donna's maiden name.
Yes.
Donna did. And then you said that their plan was for Wendy to call Dan Markel as he was getting on stage, or right before he got on stage, to give a speech at a conference.
That's what I was told.
Okay. And what was Donna's demeanor when she was describing this plan to you about how she was able to set up this place for Wendy to live in? Everything was ready for her, and then this is how she gave Dan the news.
I think she sounded.
Donna's the one who gave the news. If not, then
I believe the question was, what was her demeanor? You may answer the question.
She sounded pleased to me.
Did you ever see Donna Adelson doing anything to help Wendy Adelson with the divorce?
I think she was, answering a lot of emails and looking over emails that went back and forth, looking over motions and such.
Did you personally see that when she was visiting you? Did you see Donna Adelson doing those things?
Yes.
Okay. Was there an occasion when you all were in the hospital and Donna came to visit and was doing those things in the hospital?
I think it was at our home at the time, right before we went to the hospital. But yes, that's where we saw the email.
Okay. And while she was at your house during that time, was that when you were living in Philadelphia?
That was in Albany.
Albany. Okay. Did she want the Wi-Fi at that time so that she could get on the internet and work on these filings?
Yeah, she said she had things to do to help out with the divorce.
What date would that have been? Do you remember?
October of 12.
Yeah.
Did Donna
Rob
Adelson
is
tell you that Wendy
spilling some truths
Adelson was
here.
trying to get permission to relocate to Miami?
Yes.
And did Donna Adelson tell you about the $1 million bribe she wanted to offer Dan Markel?
Yes.
During the year or two after Wendy Adelson left Dan Markel, how much time was Donna Adelson spending in Tallahassee?
personal knowledge of her being here.
You may answer as to your personal knowledge on the subject matter.
I can rephrase, Judge. Did Donna Adelson tell you information about how much time she was having to spend in Tallahassee?
She said that Wendy needed a lot of help because now she has 2 boys on her own, and so she was up there a lot. And I think yes.
Okay. Who cared more about Wendy Adelson's divorce from your conversations? Was it Donna or Charlie?
Donna.
What types of things does Charlie care about? What are kinds of things is he really into?
I mean, like go-karts, jet skis, going out, boats, not Wendy's divorce.
Okay. And is Donna Adelson very into her kids and grandkids and
Yes.
their success?
Yes.
Do you think Wendy's divorce
Yeah. So how did Charlie go from not caring about especially much about Donna's divorce to paying to have him killed? Who influenced him? Yeah, Charlie. You did your family a favor, and now you're serving life in prison for it.
or her moving? I guess, do you think Wendy and her boys moving to Miami was particularly important to Charlie Adelson from your observations?
I don't think so.
During the divorce, from your conversations with Donna, was she fixated on Wendy taking this job with a guy named Gary Cohen in Miami?
Yes, that was a common discussion point.
Okay. Did she seem like it was just something that she kind of thought would be a good idea, or something that she seemed to have a real obsession with?
It came up a lot in my discussions with her about this job with Gary, where she'd be making $1 million a year and she'd be a partner. And it was something that was brought up a lot, that she'd be able to take care of her kids in a way that she couldn't up in Tallahassee. And then it was probably the one thing that she mentioned to me. The only time I heard any anger after the murder had occurred was that I asked, is Wendy going to go work for Gary now? And she told me that.
Did the job end up not working out?
As far as I know, it didn't.
Okay. And that you heard some anger from Donna when that happened?
She said that his partners wouldn't let them hire her until they.
Okay.
Sorry.
But there was some anger there because the job didn't end up working out.
Yes.
They couldn't hire Wendy, or didn't want to hire Wendy after all.
That's what I was told.
Okay, thank you. Now, during the summer of 2014, did Wendy Adelson, I'm going to move on to 2014 now, did Wendy Adelson send you a text where she referenced having a boyfriend?
Yes.
And was this before Dan Martell's murder?
Yes.
Why was that memorable to you?
It was just unusual. Wendy, never was someone who would, share her, romantic life or boyfriends, or, tell me or, text me about anyone she was dating. So it just stood out as, unique or different.
Okay. What did she, was there something in particular that she said that struck you as also unusual? Okay. I guess, was it your impression that your parents knew about this boyfriend at the time, or no?
No, the text said, don't tell the parents.
Well,
Members of the jury, you are to disregard the last response of the witness.
may I approach, Judge?
You may.
And sidebar counter 11. Jesus Christ. Now we're talking. Now we're getting up to numbers.
Asking you about.
You may continue your examination, student.
Okay, so I was asking you about this text that you received from Wendy Adelson. Can you tell me about this text?
Sure. She texted me that she was going to Gainesville for the weekend, and this was 2014. So I last lived in Gainesville about 3 years prior to that. Mentioned that she wanted that I mentioned the name of Jeff. I asked who was Jeff. The response was my boyfriend. I responded I didn't know, and she said you wouldn't. I didn't hear it from the parents. He says they don't know. And so it just struck me as, and then she sent me some pictures of Jeff with her and the boys. It struck me as unique because she'd never shared the name or photograph of a boyfriend before.
Okay, so
Members of the jury, as to the last question and response, you are not to consider the hearsay statement for the truth of the matter asserted. You may continue.
okay, so it was unusual for her to talk to you about boyfriends at all.
Yes.
But you also felt it was unusual that she's telling you about this boyfriend when even your parents don't know about him yet.
Right.
And she was closer to her parents at the time than you.
Correct.
Okay. What date was that text message sent?
The very end of June, like 26 or 28 of 14, but that last weekend.
Okay, so it was prior to 4th of July weekend.
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember where in those photographs Wendy is with her sons and Jeff?
Like Wakulla Springs, something like that.
Okay.
They're in front of a board that said that.
And did you let her know you wouldn't mention him to her parents or to your parents?
Yes.
Yeah, this relationship she had with this Jeff person sounds very similar to I need to have an alibi. Where can I find a gullible guy to date for a while? And I think when Jeff testified in Charlie's trial, that was the notion he has afterwards, that he was just used as a pawn.
Did that strike you as so unusual that after Dan Markel was murdered, you felt, I guess, compelled to tell police, like, hey, I heard she has this boyfriend she hasn't told anybody about named Jeff?
Yes, I did. The FBI came to my house and I spoke to them once, and either it didn't come up or, it's a bit nerve wracking talking to the FBI, and they didn't ask any questions about that. And then, I guess over the ensuing week, I'd heard about like this Prius and this, this unsolved murder. And I remembered, it struck me as odd that I was sent these photographs of a boyfriend and not to tell the parents about him. And so that's when I wanted to have a clean conscience. So I reached out to the FBI and I said, I don't know if this matters, but I figured I would, tell you about this. And they came back for a second interview and looked at the pictures.
Okay. When is your father, Harvey Adelson's, birthday?
July 5.
Okay, so on July 5th of 2014, how old would he have turned that year?
70.
Okay, and this is about 2 to 3 weeks before Dan Markel was killed?
Yes.
Did your family do anything to celebrate his birthday that year?
Yes, we had a party at their condo.
Okay, was there a gift from the family or from any of you to him?
No, I remember an email, and my dad is not someone who wants gifts or a big deal made about him. And so, the email was like, your dad doesn't want gifts. He just wants all of his kids to be with him on his birthday.
And was that from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
So she's basically letting you know you and your kids coming is going to be his gift.
Correct.
And everybody, all the kids and grandkids being
Correct.
there. Okay. Did the family ever discuss going on a cruise?
No, not with me.
When a birthday gift is given for somebody in the family, does Donna Adelson typically say, we're going to get him this, everybody owes this much, everybody's going to pay a third, or whatever it is?
Yeah, if there was like a big gift we're getting, or they said, we're getting this for someone, and you can be part of it, that was not uncommon.
Okay. So tell us at the party, or about the party, you said it was at the Continuum?
Yes, at their apartment.
Okay. So is that like a condo building in Miami?
Yeah, on Miami Beach.
Okay. On Miami Beach, like South Beach?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it a secure building?
It is very secure. It was, we were staying at a hotel down the street, and there was like, armed guards, and, apparently there's a lot of celebrities that live there. It was a very high, very secure building.
Okay. And these celebrities that live there, were they people that you knew of? I mean, you knew who they were?
Sure. Yeah, A-Rod.
Did these people have kind of guards of their own too in the building?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So the guards that you saw were the guards in the front?
Yes.
All right. Had your parents, how recently had they moved to the Continuum?
I got the idea. It was certainly less than a year. Like, I don't remember exactly, but it seemed like they said they were going to try living down in South Beach to see if they liked it for their retirement. And so it had to be sometime, before, because they were pretty well moved in there. But I don't remember the exact time, but if I'm guessing, like maybe 6 months before or something like that.
Okay. So by the weekend of the party, July 5th, are they like fully moved into their condo there?
Yes.
Okay. And are they living there full time from what you know?
It seemed like that, but I couldn't. I know they still own the house in Coral Springs, so I don't know if they're just there on the weekends, but I couldn't say definitively, but it looked like they were living there fully.
Okay. Was his party on his actual birthday or another day of the week?
No, on his actual birthday.
All right. Was your brother Charlie there that weekend?
Yes.
Wendy and her sons, were they there?
Yes.
Was the party catered?
Yeah, there was. Yes.
What type of food did you have?
There were like past hors d'oeuvres, and then there was a paella chef on the balcony.
Okay. Was the party a surprise for Harvey?
No.
So you were never told, don't tell him about it, it's a surprise,
No.
anything like that? Don't tell him. Were you not supposed to tell him anything about the party that was a surprise?
No, there was nothing about a surprise birthday.
Was there ever a time in the weeks leading up to the party that you heard that the party may be canceled for any reason?
No, never.
All right. So how did you first hear about Dan Markel's murder?
I heard the day after the shooting occurred. So that would be Saturday, July 19. I was at a meeting in Chicago, and I think I got a phone call first, and that I was in a meeting, and so I just said I can I call you later? And then I got a text message shortly thereafter, like right before 10 in the morning, that said like, tragedy here, please call.
And are these from Donna Adelson?
Yes.
Okay. So were you able to call her that morning from the conference in Chicago?
Yeah. So I walked out and went to the hotel lobby and just hit call.
Okay. And tell us about that conversation with her.
So it's one of those moments that you'll just remember forever. So I remember being in the lobby of the Westin, and I assumed something terrible had happened, and but I wasn't ready for it. She said, so we just want to let you know that Danny's been shot, and they took him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. And it just didn't make any sense. And I probably asked like a few medical questions, and they said they're driving up to go help Wendy, and we'll talk to you later. We can't talk now.
Okay. Was she crying in that conversation?
Not in
Donna
the
Adelson?
conversation.
Sir?
No, she was not.
Okay.
It was very matter of fact.
Did she ever give you any further detail that weekend about how he'd been shot, or other than just Danny was shot and he didn't make it?
I think it was the next day. So the only really other time that I spoke with him that weekend, I was in the airport going home, like Sunday afternoon. So it was definitely the next day. And, it was the first time I could actually have any kind of conversation. And, one of the things that she told me is, it bothered me, but I didn't have any other details about, but she said that, someone went to the front door and said, "Are you Dan Markel?" and then shot him. And then I said, "Well, how could you know that? Who's telling you that?" And she said, "Well, that's just what they're telling us." And
Okay. So she said someone told her that someone knocked on Danny's door, said, "Are you Dan Markel?" He said yes, and the shooter shot him.
that's the story I heard. And, later we found out that wasn't what happened, but that story bothered me a lot because there's only one way you could hear that story.
Was she crying when she told you that
Oh,
information?
Remember, he was not allowed to express if he thinks somebody was guilty or not. But it seems like he found a way around that. There's only one way to know that. And I agree. Maybe that is how it was supposed to go. But it didn't go that way, and Donna didn't know. Huh.
You mentioned earlier that law enforcement contacted you after Dan Markel's murder. Did they contact you to try to see if you knew any information?
Yeah, they came to our house. I was already at work, and so they talked to my wife. It had to be a Wednesday or Thursday, so I was already at work.
Was this your house in New York?
Yes.
Okay. And did you end up talking to law enforcement and letting them, answering their questions, letting them know what you knew?
Yeah, they came to my office the next day, and we with two agents, and we had an interview.
Okay. After that conversation with, you said it was the FBI earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay. After that conversation with the FBI, did Donna Adelson ever say anything to you about having talked to law enforcement or the FBI?
It was either that afternoon or the next day, but and she called me and said, just want to let you know, if the police come around, don't talk to them.
Okay, so she told you not to talk to law enforcement.
Correct.
Did you let her know that you already had talked to law
And I
enforcement?
said I already did.
And what'd she say to that?
She said, "Oh, well, you don't know anything anyway."
You don't know anything anyway?
Correct.
Was that an unusual statement coming from your mother?
Yeah, everything that week was unusual, but I clearly didn't know anything, but I wasn't going to not talk to the FBI if they show up at my house.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Rempilak, based on Robert's testimony, Wendy tried to set up Jeff for Dan's murder. She probably picked him to be the scapegoat from day one. Yeah, we will hear from Jeff. How Wendy went out of her way to make sure that he had no alibi for that day. And also went out of her way to not have an alibi the previous time the hitman went up there. But that is later in this trial.
House.
Rob.
How did you respond? Let me ask you this. After the murder of Dan Markel, did Donna Adelson seem curious about who killed Dan Markel?
No.
Was there a complete lack of curiosity?
Yeah, nobody seemed curious.
Did you actually ever ask her, like after the murder, like, hey, like, what do you think happened?
Yeah, and conversations were kind of rerouted, or that was certainly discouraged. And it was probably like maybe sometime like mid-August, when I finally had a chance to ask and say, what is going on? This was not a small event. This was getting a lot of notoriety. And I said, what do you guys think happened? And she had said, I don't know and I don't care. It doesn't concern me.
Was that out of character for her to not be curious and not be asking some questions?
Yeah, it was an unsolved murder of my former brother-in-law, like someone that we all know very well. If it was like some neighborhood gossip, people would be interested. This was like national interest, and nobody had any curiosity about who did this to Danny.
is a person, you mentioned that, not only is it your brother-in-law, but it was like national news at that point as well.
Yes.
And regardless of it being national news or not, I mean, is a person dying from gun violence an extremely unusual thing to happen in your family?
Yeah. I mean, to this day, Danny's the only person that I know who's died from gun violence or been a victim of gun violence. So it's unique in that manner.
What would your mom, Donna Adelson, do if you did try to like ask her any more about Danny's murder after that?
It wasn't a subject for discussion. It would be rerouted, or it was just not a subject to discuss.
When you say rerouted, do you mean like changing the subject?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fast forward to 2016. Do you remember in May of 2016 when Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera were arrested?
Yeah, I do. I actually saw it in the OR lounge. Someone told me about it. It had to be like a Wednesday, and
And you were in the operating room
yeah,
lounge?
it was
and
the
someone
lounge.
told you about
Yes,
it?
it was someone else, because
Okay.
stories like this people see on Twitter or such. And I remember someone telling me, like, hey, did you hear about that case? Because it's more than one person had followed it, and I saw it, and then that was on the 26th, and I remember the dates because our anniversary is on the 28th of May. My wife and I were like, should we call them? Like they arrested some guy who killed Danny. And
When you say them, you mean like should we
my
call
parents.
my parents? And
Yes.
yeah, okay. So it was big news that even people you work with were seeing that there were finally some arrests made.
Right.
Okay. And that was 2 days before your anniversary, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So did you and your wife eventually talk to your parents?
We did. Like we thought, like, should we call them? And we figured, if they wanted to call us, they would call us, and then they did. And so we figured, well, they'll call us on our anniversary, and so we can just sit tight. And I'm sure it's pretty stressful. And this guy was arrested in Miami, and so they called us on our anniversary, which was the 28th.
Okay, so that was 2 days after the arrest, I think.
2 days after I found out. Yes.
2 days after you found out. Thank you. So on the 28th, did you talk to Donna Adelson?
Yes.
All right. And when she called you, was she telling you the good news that Danny's killers were arrested?
No, just called us for anniversary, and wished us well, and had some small talk for a bit. I kind of let it go for a little bit. I mean, this was not small news, and so I finally broached the topic and said, they found the guy, they arrested someone who killed Danny. There's no response, and I said it, at least 2 or 3 times that they arrested, they made an arrest, they got the guy who killed Danny. Yeah, and then her response was, I've got to go.
And then did she hang up the phone after that?
Yes.
And did you ever talk to her about it again, ever after that?
No.
Just a second.
Yeah, this is damning.
Other than, her reaching out for happy birthdays, happy anniversaries, that kind of thing, was that the last conversation you had with her?
That was the last time I spoke to her.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
That is damning. That is. Now, is it direct evidence of guilt? No, but it's circumstantial evidence. What do you call it? It's evidence of guilt. Just like the trip to Vietnam to get away. Yeah, this is probably the most damning evidence or damning testimony this far against Donna.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
between 2000, I'll say it again, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
In 2000 and between 2012 and 2014, how many times did you come to visit your family in South Florida?
2012 and 2014. My daughter was born in October of 2012. And so I think my dad's birthday, oh no, there was a Thanksgiving, I think in 2013. So I mean, pretty much Thanksgivings were the times when we would travel, having a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. So
Sure. Okay, so Thanksgiving of 2013 and then your dad's birthday in 2014.
yeah, there could have been one other one, but I remember those two for certain that I could swear to.
Okay, and when you came for his birthday was on the 5th. You came in on the 4th, the party was on the 5th, and you left on the 6th, correct?
That's my memory of it.
And Thanksgiving, kind of the same thing? I mean, you got a job you got to get back to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And how frequent were the phone calls that you were having with your family?
Probably less than once a week, maybe every other week, something like that.
And when I say family, I think I'm referring to Donna.
Sure, sure.
Now, you were here on the 5th for your dad's birthday. You said you went home on the 6th.
Yep.
And Danny Markell was brutally murdered on July the 18th of 2014. That was in the summer.
Correct.
Recall that?
Yes.
And when did you arrive in Florida to be with your family?
I didn't.
Thank you. You had mentioned in your direct testimony that your mom called and said you shouldn't talk to the police. You recall that?
Yeah, I do. Yes,
What actually happened was a family friend, Michael Weinstein, you know him, correct?
I do. Yeah.
Your mom indicated that he had called and advised that as a family friend and an attorney that you all should not talk to the police. That's what she told you, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I don't have anything.
What's the fucking difference? Now, you generally you should lawyer up before you talk to the cops or the FBI. But Mr. Weinstein, not related to Doug, he's not Robert's attorney. He was Donna's at the time.
Redirect examination.
Yeah, I mean, this is smart from the defense because they know they can't get good things out of Robert. Because remember, this is what he is allowed to testify about. And they can't really get anything good from him. So short, concise, make a few points, sit down, shut up.
You may step down.
And that was the end of Robert's testimony.
Does the state have a witness that will go about a half hour exactly?
One very brief witness we can do and be done for the day.
Please call your
Yeah,
witness.
and then they have this
And
very,
was
very
there
brief.
EMS and marked police cars there in front of the Markell residence at the time.
EMS had already left the scene by the time I was in that position, but there was investigators, other officers, and crime scene units.
Okay. And when I say marked, as in your car's marked and their cars are marked, like TPD insignia, what we would typically see as a police car.
Yes.
Okay. Did I show you before court today a map that is marked as States Exhibit 87?
Yes.
And was that map a true and accurate depiction of where you were stationed that day and of Trescott Drive and of the Markell residence on that road?
I believe so.
Judge, at this time, I'd move into evidence States Exhibit 87.
No objection.
States 87 is admitted.
Motion published.
You may.
I have this for you.
Put it there.
Okay, so looking here at this map, move that off. Is this Thomasville Road right here
Yes,
where I'm pointing? Okay. And is this orange arrow ABC Liquors?
I believe so.
Okay, this is Benton Road.
Yep.
All right. And then is this road over here Centerville Road?
Yes.
And the hospital would be somewhere in this area.
Correct.
Okay. So this yellow line, is this yellow line Trescott Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
And does the blue arrow show where the Martell residence, 2116 Trescott Drive was?
Yes.
Can you show me where you were located next to the crime scene tape, making sure no cars came by the crime scene?
Approximately where the little yellow marking was right there.
Okay, right where it says roadblock?
Yep.
With the arrow? Okay. Now, from where you were stationed here at the crime scene tape, could you clearly see all of the marked police cars in front of the Trescott residence?
Yes.
Okay. And your marked police car was right there where we see the arrow as well?
Correct.
All right. If I'm turning onto Trescott Drive from Centerville Road, would I be able to see any of the activity over here or from this area on Trescott Drive?
No, not back over there.
And is that because the road curves around or winds around?
Yes.
While you were stationed there, did any vehicles approach your location on Trescott, encounter the roadblock, and have to turn around?
Yeah, I agree with Brooklyn. There's nothing positive for the defense about Robert's testimony. And he said everything but the actual words, I think they did it. And he got that little passage through. There's only one way for her to know that. I would assume that Robert will probably go back into his work and never make an interview whatsoever. Now, I would love to have him on my channel, but I highly doubt he will ever talk about this again. Unless they prosecute Wendy.
Yes, several vehicles.
Okay. Did you notice a particular vehicle that pulled up that you notated in your report that day because it stood out to you?
Mid 2000s maroon or dark red.
Oh, now I remember this from Charlie's trial. Somebody went up to the police tapes and then simply turned around. Somebody who just happened to drive out of her way to get a bottle of Bullet rye bourbon.
On the Odyssey van.
And are you familiar with that make and model and the year of van?
Yes, my family we actually still use it. My son uses it. 2006 Honda Odyssey.
Okay, so at the time, your family owned the same van.
Correct.
Okay. And you said it was maroon in color, the one you saw that day?
Yes.
At the time, did you know that the ex-wife of the person who was killed drove that type of van?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 18. Was this?
So Wendy drove past. She drove more or less all the way up to Dan's house the day he was shot, the day he was murdered. She had no business being anywhere near there. And she still went there.
This vehicle consistent with the one you saw that day that turned at the roadblock?
Yes.
Were you able to see the driver of the van?
No.
About what time did the vehicle approach the roadblock?
Approximately 1 o'clock, somewhere in that range.
Okay. I think, did you say between 12 and 1 in
Somewhere in
your report?
there.
Okay. But don't know exactly the minute that it approached. Okay. Was there anything unusual about the way the vehicle, or I guess the driver of the vehicle, behaved when the vehicle encountered the roadblock that stood out to you?
It wasn't fast or anything, but it was just a little more deliberate and pulling up, turning around, and leaving. The other vehicles, which is consistent with other times I've had to block roads, when vehicles pull up, they kind of stop and they're processing like, well, I can't go this way, and they're trying to think, well, where do I got to go now, etc. So this one didn't squeal tires or anything like that, but I mean, it was and out.
So just less hesitation.
Correct.
Did the driver of the vehicle ask you any questions?
No.
Did the driver of the vehicle question anybody else, any other officers there at the roadblock?
Not where I was.
They just
No.
turned around and went back towards Centerville?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all. Thank you.
No questions, Judge.
Officer, you may step down. Is the officer released or will he be recalled?
Sir,
Is the officer released or will he be recalled?
he is released. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thanks, sir.
Members of the jury, we are going to come to a rest for this evening. Once again, I'm going to remind you, do not discuss this case with each other or anyone else. Do not seek out any information or news reports about this case at all as well. Please report tomorrow at 8:45 a.m. and we intend to get started at 9 o'clock once everyone is here. Have a restful evening. We will see you in the morning.
All right. Let's see if they have anything more to say. All right. Let's hear.
All right, brief discussion of tomorrow. The witnesses that were supposed to be the PM are they now going to be our AM witnesses state tomorrow morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well. Parties need to be heard before we go into recess.
Nothing from the state judge. No judge.
There was one thing, can we approach about it though?
Yes.
And a final sidebar of the day, making it a grand total of 12. Sidebar count at 12. Yeah, today was not a good day for Donna Adelson. Not a good day at all. See if they say anything before they tune out.
That's all that is. They're just being held so they can get them out. That's all that is.
We're done for the day.
We're just holding it now.
All right. That was it for day number 2. We went only 45 minutes over. Yeah, I was trying to keep this under 3 hours, but with no objections, not that many sidebars. There, he starts at one time, he ends it at one time, and then they go on. So having this 3 hour, I think I need to start earlier tomorrow so I can be done before 2 a.m. my time. Yeah. Folks, this trial is interesting, and it will continue to be more interesting because we haven't heard from Jeff yet. So there's a lot of testimony left to be heard. We haven't heard the recordings. So yeah, this will be interesting. I think I will start a little bit earlier tomorrow. Now, my goal has been to start when the trial ends. But as it seems, it will be really, really hard to keep that. Maybe I should start maybe I should start around lunch. If I can get back from work in time. Okay. But you will see when I put the stream up tomorrow if it will be noon Eastern time or 4 p.m. Eastern time. But folks, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for being a member. Thank you. And from me and Mr. Jingles, you all have a good one. And remember to hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Sail the raven waves, brothers. Axes high, shields